Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. I'm the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef, and today I'm joined by just uno mark, Mr. Morro. We have a little Young Bucks thing going on. I noticed that when I said it in the last one. I was like, oh, cool, yeah.
This is the Young Bucks, the greatest tag team in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah, where's the other two marks?
Dunphy is on a secret trip to Kerry.
A secret trip? Is it a wrestling trip? Or?
Pro wrestling camp down in Kerry.
Oh, right. Who's in charge of that?
Healy Rey Mysterio.
That was quick.
It was quick. I wasn't prepared. Just thought of it right there on the spot.
Nice.
It's my original joke.
Healy Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
Love it. They come around with the lucha mask and everything. You're scrapping the bottom of the barrel with that kind of stabbing. It kind of sounds
very old school. Very old school.
It kind of sounds kind of lucha.
He's the Fritz von Erich of Irish wrestling.
Healy Rey Mysterio. And Johnny Martz is wherever he is.
Mysteriously
talking about mystery and Healy Rey Mysterio.
He's threatened to punch his cat if Drew McIntyre lost, so shout out to John Martin's cat.
Well, that's what we're talking about today. We're going to review Clash at the Castle. I'm loving the times of pay-per-views nowadays. It was amazing.
European pay-per-views, glorious.
And it's not an insurrection and it's not a rebellion. It's an actual one that matters in terms of continuity. I just noticed as well, I'm like all my social media platforms or whatever, everything that I'm sharing is just wrestling. It's the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. It's wrestling training. I'm watching wrestling.
You're in deep at the moment.
Oh man, I can't get out.
Your face?
I have a bit of a shiner. Look at my elbows. I need to get elbow pads.
Jesus, get this man some elbow pads.
I went back training.
I seen that on your social media.
Oh, it was amazing.
A weekend camp or?
No, it was, I took a month out because of my groin.
Yeah.
Went back and it was just School of Irish Wrestling Saturday. I'm going up on, today's Sunday when we're recording, so I'm going up on Monday night to Fight Factory. Oh man, it was brilliant. And like Paddy Morro, who's the trainer, one of the soundest lads, collects figures as well, by the way.
Deadly.
So it was that was awesome. Just going like, oh, did you get this figure? Oh yeah. Oh, it must be great to have a Smiths where you're from. But he was like, oh shit, do you want to? I know you're going to store. Like shit out if you want. And I was like, no, I'm all right. I'm okay.
I'm gonna go through this.
It's about 8%. And he was like, all right, you just jump in. And I was jumping in with all like the actual workers of OCT, and I'm running spots, and like, oh man, I blew up.
Yeah, well,
like I can do all the running. Like I love my runs. I love going to the gym. In the gym today, you have to be a bit beefy, but running spots in the ring,
it's also like adrenaline dump, pressure, people watching, it just tires you out quicker, like, you know?
Yeah, like I was in the ring and we were doing like a heat spot, and I was just getting so excited that I forgot that the referee communicates with you as well to let you know what's happening, and like the other worker. So like I'd be in a headlock and I'd be like trying to sell, but I couldn't hear a word that was being said because I'm like, this is class, this is deadly. And then I'd like, watch the boot, and I'd like would not hear that. I just get hit with a boot.
I just stick my face on the bottom of a boot.
And but like everyone up there absolutely bang on.
It's in Dublin, is it?
Yeah, up near Clondalkin. So it's on this side of the actual. Is it the M50?
M50, I think, yeah.
Oh, that's such a dream.
Yeah,
driving up from Kilkenny, an hour.
Straight
driving up from Kilkenny. Fight Factory is a bit longer.
Yeah.
And because I go up there on the Mondays, I'm hitting the traffic. So I'm just like... Rrr.
You're ready then to hit some mean chops when you get there.
Hit some mean chops. Hit some chops yesterday as well. I was like... And they were like, chop me for this spot. And I'm like... Okay. You don't chop me, dog.
Yeah. No, I don't take chops.
But no, it was awesome. I did a few wrestling promo stuff.
Nice.
As an alter ego of mine.
Has any of that gone live yet?
No, I don't think I'm putting it up. It's just proof of concept stuff. Okay. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
It's a bit different.
That's why I was wondering. You sent it to us, but I was wondering if you had shared it publicly afterwards. I thought it was class.
No, I sent it to a few lads involved in wrestling.
What was the feedback there?
Whose opinion that, like, you'd be seeking out, and they were really positive about it. So that was good.
I thought very well made.
Obviously, I need to work on how to actually wrestle, but character stuff.
I've seen lots of people with good characters who didn't know how to wrestle.
Shawn Michaels came out recently, and he was like, "It's all kind of story and character. The moves are barely," and they keep saying that the moves. So I'm like, okay, I need to get a character.
I'm just going to work in character.
Yeah.
I'll get back to that later on about Shawn Michaels and his all character no moves thing, because I think he has a bit of cognitive dissonance going on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, how are you going to tie this into the Clash of the Castle?
Into the female world tag title triple threat.
And Shawn Michaels?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
just Shawn Michaels, but like a kind of a greater.
Okay, well, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, nice one. So, Clash at the Castle, 7 o'clock start. Unbelievable. I even watched the pre-show and everything. There was no real matches on the pre-show. No. And this is my own, and it's a minor disappointment. It's the fact that you don't get to see everybody. Which, at the same time, keeps a lot of people special. But, you want to see a Gunter match. You want to see a Kevin Owens match as much as you can. But, like...
Tag title match.
Yeah, but when... Tag title match. But when you have such a stacked roster and you're, like, committed to doing these 3-hour pay-per-views, it kind of makes you go, well, if I didn't see Gunter, I'm going to see him on Raw.
Yeah, does it force you into watching Raw?
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps people kind of hidden and protects people. Like, from a worker's perspective, I'd imagine, it might suck not to be on the big pay-per-views, but also, at the same time, they don't have to work.
I know, but their house show circuit is a lot less than what it used to be, so I would imagine a lot of them would want to be on.
As many shows. And like, money-wise,
I think five is not enough.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get.
I don't know what the sweet spot is, because when we did the Double or Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring review a few weeks ago, we felt that Double or Nothing was...
That was three WWE pay-per-views almost.
Like it was 10... I think it was 12 if you include the pre-show.
Yeah. Okay.
That felt like too many matches. Whereas when you're watching a WWE pay-per-view, it feels like too few matches.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, and 7? I don't know what sweet spot. I'm not a booker.
Yeah, like, because I remember it was at WrestleMania 35. I was watching it and you're just like, oh my. And you still, like, I really wanted to watch Becky. Yeah. And then, like, Finn was on before that as well against Bobby Lashley. And I was nearly falling asleep during the Finn match. And obviously being Irish, I'm like, ah!
Yeah. Like, I think one thing is it helps him with the build when there's only 5 matches. So, like, you focus on 5 things to build for the pay-per-view, and that's really easy to do across the amount of TV shows they have. Like, the problem with going back to like WrestleMania 35 and all is they had the same amount of TV time and they were building like 12 matches for pay-per-view. It's very hard to make all 12 matches feel like they're pay-per-view importance. It's easy to make 5 matches feel important. But like, I do think then if I'm sitting down to watch pay-per-view on a Saturday night, it's 3 hours long, I want more meat than 5 matches.
Yeah, and plus, like, they have so many great workers. Like,
I was
Santos Escobar, what's he doing? Dragon Lee, what's he doing?
Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. Like, you go way down the roster, and there's loads.
Andrade is on speed.
Yeah,
Is
he? I know he's on speed.
he's the speed champion.
He's a speed merchant.
Yeah, he's doing the what's his Alberto Del Rio? That.
Yeah,
I'm on speed.
Like I think it's probably the best in-ring roster they've had since SmackDown 6 era, when they first did the brand split.
That was a worker roster.
Worker roster, in-ring. Not like in terms of characters and all that. There's probably been some eras that would match where they're at now, but I think like they have so much great in-ring talent that when you watch pay-per-view, and because it's not as if they're doing longer matches. Like,
they are.
They're doing some long matches. Like, world title matches are getting time. But there's still a lot of, like, 8 to 10 minute matches on the pay-per-views. Whereas, like, John Martin made a joke yesterday after the first match. There was the Jey Uso promo video that they had.
That
20 minutes. Went on and on and on. I was like, at first I was like, cool, nice little promo packs video for Jey Uso, who's one of the guys not on the show.
This is a Peacock thing, though, isn't it? Because you have to sign up for non-ads. You have to pay extra for non-ads. So Peacock are running ads during this.
No, so the difference there is if you're on one of the lower tiers, you get Peacock ads.
Yeah.
But if you're on one of the higher tiers, you get WWE promo videos.
Yeah, and not necessarily, but the actual promo videos for matches as well. So like
they're on the let's say like
if it was WrestleMania 17, right, and that's on Peacock, and they were playing the My Way promo video. If you're on the lower tier, you get Peacock ads.
No. For those ones, for the match promos that are on the show, you get the match promos.
No, because he said it before. He goes, for the Peacock Plus subscribers, we're going to take a look back at the story of Chad and Sammy.
I thought, like, say the ones that are for the next match.
No,
are.
I don't think so.
Everyone gets them.
Hey, Peacock subscribers, if you're over in Ireland. Yeah, we're in Ireland, Another thing that is slightly worrying, I think, is And I finally kind of clicked with me what they're doing. I was like, oh my God. I was listening to Triple H and the presser, and I'm like, they're going proper global because they're going to create a star in every area.
For every region.
And all these regions, and they're going to make so much money. And I was like, that's so clever. But at the same time, you don't want to know beforehand that, they're going to be in Scotland. That means all the Scottish people are going to be on it. They're going to be in Australia, Rhea Ripley. They're going to be in Puerto Rico, Damian Priest. And Carlito's coming back. Like, obviously, they're going to do region-specific stuff.
Yeah, but you can book the card 7 months out. So 2 months before Scotland, Drew is getting his big push.
Yeah, like, we know that, like, Gunter's going to have a big part in Bash in Berlin.
Yeah.
You know, or like a big
champion.
Yeah, a big part. You know what I mean? Ludwig Kaiser, they're going to build him up for Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, he already had a great match there on
Sheamus, wasn't it?
Sheamus on Raw, yeah.
And then they might cool him down after or whatever, but you're just kind of like,
it foreshadows the booking to...
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing because it's giving people time to shine as well.
Yeah.
It's getting other people on the roster.
I think like you could say the same with AEW coming up to All In London. Is there going to be a big push on the...
With Ospreay.
Well, like he's heavily pushed anyway, but like, is Pac going to get more featuring in the build-up?
Is Kid Sabian coming back?
Oh, God.
Is he gone?
No, he's still under contract, yeah. He's like, if Jamie Hayter was around, obviously, like, you know...
Nigel McGuinness
versus Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson. Oh. Are you going to All In?
Are you going?
No.
I might go.
And we know that Kieran Dunphy, he's definitely not going. He seems to have completely gone off AEW.
Well, I think he's not going because other reasons, but he does seem to be quite anti-AEW at the moment.
Yeah.
But then when you actually sit down and have a conversation about it, most of the stuff he says is positive. I think it's a gimmick.
No, it's not.
Partially a gimmick.
No, it's not.
Or it's he's
fed up.
He loves CM Punk gimmick as well.
So do I.
Nice t-shirt.
Okay, so let's get into the pay-per-view.
Yes.
It starts off with the world title match. I remember it when you hear AJ's new music.
Oh my God, so terrible. Crap.
You don't want none. You're like, no, just
the old one was deadly.
Yeah, it was completely like just it was a weird blend of like rap with
and
like
country. Yeah. And better than the Beyonce country.
The new Def Rebel stuff is just atrocious. I remember but now to be fair, I remember when Roman came out with his new or with his theme. I hated it at first, but it kind of grew on me.
He needed something new as well.
Yeah, because you couldn't be going around with the Shield music.
No.
Def Rebel, like,
but like,
get your shit together, Def Rebel.
Like the main event, right? You had the bagpipes come out for Drew, then you had Drew's theme music played, and then Damian Priest one hit, and I was like, they just sound the exact same.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if Def Rebel did Drew's as well, but like
everything sounds the same.
Yeah, it does. And you look at when you create or
Bailey's.
When you look at Bailey's is terrible as well. But you look at when you have something like Randy Orton's theme,
class,
and you have Cody Rhodes' theme, stuff that people
They're
can sing along to.
Individual.
Sami Zayn,
and do you know as well,
Becky.
AEW have a similar problem. I'm not trying to compare everything to AEW. They have a similar problem, and the people who stand out for having deadly theme music, like Ospreay, he brought his with him from Japan.
Yeah.
Okada brought his with him from Japan. They sound unique and different. WWE, nothing sounds unique and different anymore, except Randy, who's kept his for decades because it's iconic. Cody brought his with him, different. Like all the in-house ones, it's a problem across wrestling in general. Like the in-house,
but it used to be that way. Maybe it did though, because like Jim Johnson didn't always create bangers. Like
not everyone had a banger, but God, you remember an awful lot of bangers. The top guys always had a banger,
and I really enjoyed the CFOs. They were quite good. They created Glorious, Nakamura's theme,
was deadly. Nakamura's was deadly.
Finn Balor's one, Kevin Owens, like distinctive.
Everything sounded distinctive and relative to the character.
All these Def Rebel ones where the wrestler said something beforehand. You don't want none, and you're like, or shoosh, and you're like, will you just play the fucking song? Def Rebel, play the fucking song.
Like Sammy's class.
Play the fucking song. Anyway, AJ versus Cody. My first note. I actually took notes because you took notes last time, and
I overshadowed him with the notes.
Yeah. So AJ Styles' music sucks. Yes. That was my first note.
I had another issue there. Also, I know the champion comes out second or whatever, but WWE haven't always stuck to that. I think when you're doing a pay-per-view,
you have to start it off hot with
the big star. They did it last time in Saudi with Becky.
Yeah, when I seen AJ come out, I was like, why is this match on first? And then it was like, oh yeah.
Drew's gone.
Drew's going on last. And I was like, I really liked Cody's fire.
Yeah.
The crowd were great.
Crowd were awesome there for this match.
And Cody didn't like, he came out and he was kind of like, this is class, but then he got real serious and he looked pissed because of what had happened before. And that's what I love, that there's this, I'm not just always going to be, hey, ho.
Doing my generic walkout. Like
exactly. I'm like, fuck you.
Like Jey Uso is going to yeet his way into every match when, like, if he's in the blood feud, shouldn't be coming out yeeting.
No, you could almost attack AJ on the way to the ring.
I actually expected AJ to cut off Cody in his entrance.
I wanted more fire from AJ, I think.
Yeah.
I remember looking at it going, right, Cody's pissed. I hope we get blood. I hope we get blood in this because this...
Really tried to get blood and it just didn't really work.
Well, I was like, okay, is Cody's and AJ, is this to give Cody a bit more of an edge, a bit more violence, a la, and we've discussed this before, the Kingmaker, as you said, Mick Foley, like he did with HBK, like he did with Edge, like he did with Triple H, like he did with countless of people, giving him that bit more of an edge by allowing him to have a bit more of a violent style. And I was like, well, is AJ that guy to do that? He will sell for Cody, but are we going to get this violence that we need? Because we know Cody's now able to have a technically brilliant match, but just
I don't think they have a heel on the roster who can do that role, who can be that like vehicle of violence to allow Cody to bring out an edgier babyface side
at all. You don't think there is?
I don't think they have a heel there who can do it.
Well, like
Kevin Owens could do it.
Yeah, Kevin Owens could do it. Well, maybe with this new faction that's coming as well. Like, you need a bit of a grit in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I just don't know if AJ is the right guy. Like, this match was good.
And it started off really good. I really liked Cody. He just came straight out and he just dropped on his back and did that uppercut thing.
Yeah, the Goldust spot.
Yeah, and then he was going for the disaster kick straight away, and it just started off really hot. And they noticed he went for the kind of the elbow that Dusty doesn't grab his crotch. Maybe was that just a Bubba thing where he'd go like that and he'd go like that and then bang?
I think it was. Yeah, I don't remember Dusty.
I was like, why isn't he grabbing his crotch?
Grabbing his junk.
And then I was like, is that just a Bubba Ray Dudley thing where he'd go like that and then do the
elbow?
Yeah.
What did you think of? I thought this was desperately stupid. Cody passing out. Oh, no, sorry. Can we? Before we get to that,
you're getting.
Jump ahead.
I have a load of things.
I need to go back to the start of the match, right?
Okay.
Before the match started, this drove me demented. They tried to make it feel like the big fight field. So they do the referee, like in a boxing match, the referee gets them together, and he says the thing. And the ref says, no pinfalls, no submissions. I'm like, it's a fucking I Quit match.
There can be submission in an I Quit match.
By definition, a submission match, It doesn't have to be in a hold.
Yeah.
But of course there is. The only way to finish the match is submissions. So I was like, there's no pinfalls, no submissions in an I Quit match. This match can never end.
And then he turned it off and was like, I'm not watching it now.
And then they proceed to do figure fours and other submission moves to each other. I was like, oh, come on.
And I can't remember the last time that one of them, an I Quit match finished with a submission. Going back to the AJ Styles and the Foley comparisons, AJ took the Foley steps bump.
Yeah, he did. When over the steps.
Yeah, he didn't just go in. He took it off his knee, and I was like, "Yes, my comparison is class now." Because he's after doing it.
Is justified.
And then they went backstage, and I was like, "Oh, this is really early." And it was
first match of the show. Don't go backstage.
Was that Triple H? Exactly. You're like you're taking the fans out of it, but they rectified
fans back perfectly.
But it was literally like in and out. Was that Triple H in the gorilla? Or I thought it was Bobby Roode.
I couldn't tell, but I was like,
someone was trying to hide anyway.
Yeah.
And then there was that kind of there was a suplex spot outside the ring. The brainbuster on the table was awesome.
That was brilliant
because it's so hard to do things that we haven't seen before.
I know, and look, that's the problem with all the wrestling.
The suplex spot was, remember when they went from inside to outside the ring,
that was done really well.
And then they went over.
I thought Cody had a lot of, like the way he jumped down, he kind of landed semi on his feet. I was like, that is a knee breaker if I've ever seen one.
We'll get to knee breakers. We'll get to knee breakers. But that brainbuster on it, I was just like, cool. I watched it. Was like, yes, it's not the same spots that we've seen over and over and over again, like that barricade spot. It's done.
Everybody
does it, so you lose momentum. That a table spot, but to actually have the thing still on the table, they're not telegraphing it. He just picked them up and was like, yeah, fuck you. Bang.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yes, cool.
Yeah.
That was something that I hadn't seen before. And like, I've seen Brainbusters before, and Brainbusters done on certain things, but that wasn't something that I had seen before. Not on that.
It was the fact that it was untelegraphed as well, gave it a bit more of a kind of a shock factor.
And then we got the bleeder.
Yeah.
You know, we got a bleeder.
Which unfortunately didn't. I was going to ask you this, as a professional wrestler.
I'm not a professional wrestler.
I need to ask this question.
I think I've been paid once for one of the 20 matches that
makes you a professional wrestler. I remember I got my first brown envelope for doing an acting gig. And I said, I've done like 50 plays at this stage. And I was asked to dress up as like Mickey Mouse at a kids' festival. And I got paid for it.
I had to do Shrek at a Christmas festival.
Did you get paid for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember getting the envelope. I was like, I'm now a professional actor.
Yeah, like my third ever comedy gig, I got given a tenner after the show. And I was like,
right.
I'm a professional comedian.
Yeah.
But we got the bleeder. And
is there a skill to bleeding? Like how much you get, or is that just look at a draw?
I think it's just look at the draw. I don't know. I've never done it.
Like some people seem to just like get juice, like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think there's a thing where you hold your breath maybe and it kind of pumps stuff up further. Like I've seen different forms of it. There was CM Punk. You see him at All In. And he's like stabbing himself, and that's what Abdullah the Butcher would do. He had a thing and he'd stab himself kind of like that. And
he's scar tissue, Abdullah the Butcher. So
like he can put coins in the dents in his head from all that stuff. But I've seen Hogan.
Punk gets good juice, like, you know.
I've seen Hogan do it with Billy Kidman, and he came up and like right on camera he just goes like this. I've also seen Eddie Guerrero against JBL. That was the sickest. That was the most disgusting one I've ever seen.
That was gone wrong, like.
Yeah, but I think with Cody, if he's doing it, it takes you straight back to like Ric Flair's iconic
red hair or yellow hair with the red going through it.
Oh yeah, like it works so well.
Yeah, it's
with
just
that
a pity.
color hair.
Like I thought, like if he had got full juice out of that, it would have added tremendously to the spectacle.
Especially when he's in submission holds. And like, because you can see, remember when Austin's in that sharpshooter and he's in the submission hole, the blood is just starting to pour and pool and stuff.
Like he is like teardrops of blood coming down his face.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, if that had happened for Cody last night, it would have added massively to it.
Yeah, then we had I was kind of like, oh no, when I seen Cody's mom in the crowd. And I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen. They're going to do this melodrama. They're going to get, and I literally said, they're going to get Cody in handcuffs and AJ is going to beat up Cody's mom. Yeah. And then I was like, hardly is AJ winning. I was like, they just done that with Edge and Beth Phoenix.
A few years ago.
They just did that with Roman and Jey Uso.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, is that what they're going to do here now? Because you're kind of putting yourself into a spot. One of the wrestlers has to
quit.
Yeah, look somewhat weak. Yeah. The most
very hard to do it with your baby face.
Like the most clever one, in my opinion, because I remember being absolutely shocked by it.
Mankind.
And I was only 10 at the time, and I'm like, there's no way Mankind's quitting. And then when he did, I literally felt like he let me down.
Same.
I was like, this is Mankind. There's no way. And then
he never quits.
And then the reveal of the next night on Raw, I remember staying up to watch it. I was like, what's Mankind going to say? Yeah. And then I was like, Rock, you bastard.
You dastardly.
You absolute.
No, because there was a couple of things in the build up to this. I think I had the same feelings of you of, they're going to do the mother thing. They're going to swap the title and Edge is going to win it back at SummerSlam. Cody, not Edge.
You said Edge.
No, I said Edge.
Oh, I thought you said Edge.
I said Edge is going to win the title.
Edge is gone.
Edge is gone. He's gone. AJ, pronunciation. Edge is going to win the title. Cody can win it back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Just try and do something a little bit different, you know, instead of these constant long reigns. But I think what they're trying to do is, the result of it is so telegraphed in Cody winning. They had the mother there to introduce that doubt.
To do it to like people like me that are like, oh, they're going to do this.
And also,
like, fuck you.
Also with the Mick Foley thing and The Rock. AJ had said, I think on SmackDown Friday or the previous Friday, I think it was Friday gone, he said the words, I quit.
Yeah, I know, but he said, I remember he said I quit, but he said it in a way that I remember looking at it in the promo going, that can't be manipulated into a recording.
I was thinking, like, is he saying that out loud to put more doubt in there as to the result?
Yeah, quite possibly.
You know, I felt like they were trying to do things to make the result less obvious. But sorry, continue.
Which is fair play. And then they did a chair spot, and this kind of did bug me. And maybe it's just a sign of the times, because remember the chair spot, he put it around his neck and he crushed it, right? And you're like...
He pilmanized his neck.
Yeah, I was like, that would have ridden you off TV for 6 weeks.
That's a 3-month injury. Yeah.
And like, why does it mean less? Was it Rodney Mack or Orton that used to do something like that as well?
Yes, Orton did stuff like that.
Maybe not Rodney Mack. I think Kane definitely did it. You do it to your ankle, they do it to your neck. And then I was like, well... Remember the apron powerbomb? Sami Zayn was written off TV and Next for ages, and then that just became part of Kevin Owens' repertoire, and lads wouldn't be injured, or they
wouldn't take a pin,
or the Orton punt kick.
Yeah,
I remember like people were written off for ages because they were after getting a kick in the head, and then it wasn't as unprotected, but like sometimes
generations move on and finishers become
like DDT. Canadian destroyers.
But I think like the pilmanizing the neck.
That's a trope in wrestling that didn't need to be fucked with.
Yeah, you don't do that mid-match.
Yeah.
And like Cody wasn't selling the neck 4 minutes later.
Yeah.
6 minutes later. You know what I mean?
Like that should have...
Like, yeah, that...
And like also, why would you, if you're AJ, want to put that around his neck with the possibility of crushing his voice box, therefore he can't say I quit.
Yeah.
AJ, you silly goose. Yeah. Look, I know we're looking too much into it, but this is what this is to do. It isn't to criticize. It's to get our own feelings out on it. Going, oh, this is what I was thinking. Yeah, Speak up.
Also, it's like...
It's okay not to be okay.
And it's okay that every match isn't the greatest match that ever took place.
Yeah.
You know, I went on Cage Match last night and there was people giving this match a 10 out of 10 rating.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a 10 out of 10. And that's okay. Not every match is going to be a 10 out of 10. It was a really good match that had some logical flaws. And they should be talked about as well. Because when you do see perfect matches that are fucking awesome, you have to be able to differentiate them from other matches that are like, good is good. Like, this is good. This is a really good match.
Such good shit.
It's good shit.
The submission then, when Cody gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And AJ's like, ask him, and he's like, well, he's not.
That's an end to the match.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's a valid, because the commentator said, Cody
matches have ended with that before.
I know, that's what I was thinking. So Cody was knocked out, and the commentators were like, well, you can't lose an I quit match if you can't say I quit. And I was like, that's a valid point. But then
Stone Cold lost a submission match to Bret Hart without
that's different though, isn't it?
It's submission match. I know. I quit is just like, what's the difference really between an I quit and a submission?
Because a person has to say I quit.
I know, but in a submission match, you have to say that you submit.
No, you have to tap. You have to do an interpretive movement to let them know that.
Symbolize is passing out or going unconscious, not an interpretive movement.
You could just pretend to be unconscious and then they'd get up off it. Then you're like, ha, possum, I'm playing possum.
Brian Alvarez had a good point on this. I heard him talk about it this morning. He said, if Cody died,
he'd still be
the champion. Well, he didn't say I quit.
The match would still be ongoing unless they're like, AJ, just please, so we can call it.
Call the match.
Just say I quit.
The world title can't go anywhere. We can't vacate the title until you quit. He's like, match goes on forever.
Match goes on forever. Never stops. But
I just think, don't do the pass out spot. And was that to give AJ a visual victory? Like, that would have been a victory in other stipulations?
Possibly, yeah. That's a good show.
I know, but you can't have him quit and then extend the feud.
And
so if they're doing that to try and extend the feud,
what about the belt?
Afterwards,
when he put the belt around him, it just kept slipping off him. And you know he can't tie it around his neck.
Yeah,
because that's what Daniel Bryan got fired for. Yeah, and he did it to Justin Roberts. So you're like, okay. We have to change this up. And then the handcuffs come off
a little too easily.
Cody. Like, you can see him flipping.
Yeah.
And Cody looked a bit frazzled as well. Did you see him? Like, he'd pick up the handcuffs and then he'd drop them down and then he'd go outside the ring and then he's like, wait, no. And then he comes back in and he picks up the handcuff. It was like he couldn't remember what to do.
What was doing next, yeah.
Because he went outside the ring and looked like he was getting the steel steps and then he got back into the ring and then tied...
Wait, there's a few more things before we go to the steps.
I have to tie him up. So he ties him up and he beats the ever-living shit out of him with a chair.
Like that.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. He was like, this isn't cool side to Cody. Yeah. This is after Mama Rhodes slapped AJ a few times.
Like that. She really got into that too. That was good.
Like, she did it 3 times. Yeah. And you're like, oh, hey,
she went back down for one more. I was like, yeah.
Like, calm down. All right, calm down, mates. Calm down. Then he goes, ask AJ, and he goes, screw you, Cody Rhodes. And you're like, no, don't say that. See, because the whole point is, and this is what I thought would have been better. This is drama, right?
Okay.
The whole story to this was that AJ Styles is running out of time. Mm-hmm. He wants to be a world champion before
one last time
before he retires. He cannot afford to go to the back of the queue, as he said to Nick Aldis. So he had to do something drastic to get Cody's attention.
Yeah.
So he goes and is in that situation, in that I Quit match, where he's getting slapped around with a chair. He knows that he's done for. Ask him, ref. Ask him. AJ, do you quit? I can't. I can't is such a cooler thing to say than screw you, Cody Rhodes. That story.
It goes back to his original purpose.
And it allows AJ or Cody to somewhat kind of go,
like, Cody can empathize with that.
Yeah, Cody knows that this is like, no matter their blood feud or whatever, Cody knows that, like,
and then
the
Cody knows,
of AJ Styles,
I have to do something drastic to beat him then.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I love you kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not a screw you, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm going to kick your ass. Hey, Mama Rhodes, should I kick his ass? She like, fucking set him on fire. Like, hey, whoa. All right, Darby.
But yeah, it's just like, I thought, we're at the end. We're at the finish of the match.
We're at the finish. So he goes and gets the steps. And they do a JBL John Cena finish.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Cena had the bar?
Yeah.
I remember being so disappointed as a young lad that Cena made...
Crush his head.
Yeah. Like, you're just like, I don't like this. Oh, no, don't hurt me. I quit.
Yeah.
You're like, no. No.
I just was so underwhelmed by the finish.
Yeah, like, hang him over a balcony and go, hey, I'm going to drop you. Yeah. All right, I quit.
What was it? Was it the Hangman John Moxley death match where he made Mox quit by hanging him over the top rope with the chain?
I think so, yeah.
Like,
they've done that spot a few times in AEW.
Yeah, Hangman has been hanged by Swerve afterwards.
And Darby hung Brody King.
Brody King hung Darby, and then Darby hung him back.
And then he fell into the coffin.
Yeah. But the one with Mox is like, Mox doesn't
Wrestling's
quit.
nuts.
I love wrestling. Mox doesn't quit.
Yeah.
And so Hangman has to do something like outrageous. You know what I mean? And I felt like this match, right? They went back to the Mark Henry retirement angle, which, you know, for guys our age who've seen that.
Carbon copy.
But I was thinking about that a lot afterwards, where I was like, okay, but we're mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
So, like, that's actually ages ago.
Yeah, we had 3 Spider-Men in the space of like 10 years. So, like, you know what I mean?
Like, that's ages ago, right? Yeah. For younger viewers or newer viewers, they probably never saw that. So, it's probably the right time, actually, to go back and recreate that type of angle. What was that? Was that 2011?
Remember, it took them a very long time to do it with the imploding ring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was still impressive that time.
Yeah.
Why
when you do that type of angle, the fake retirement into the, like, really, like, proper blood feud beatdown, and then you end the match with that finish of Cody threatening to throw the steel step. I've seen loads of people hit by steel steps, and then Cody threatens to throw steel steps at AJ.
I suppose you can't make Cody maybe too violent either, because
he throws him off him straight away afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
he what?
He hits him with steel steps after the match.
Did he hit him with steel steps after the match?
Yeah, he just chucked it at him.
No, but I mean, like...
Oh, sorry, doing something different.
Doing something a lot more violent, like hanging him.
No, they did. Cena did some really violent stuff in that Last Man Standing Umaga match. R.I.P.
Yeah, with the actual ropes, the ring ropes. That was cool.
That was really cool. Like, you can have your, like, super good guy babyface
just maybe come up with a more creative finish. It felt lackluster
given the build.
So after that, then
we had the 25-minute.
No, we didn't. You're talking about Bloodline.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
So you have Solo and Cody face off.
Yeah,
Solo just comes out.
Match.
No, probably Money in the Bank. Yeah. So you have Solo come out. Well, I was thinking Money in the Bank's going to be different. So you had Solo come out and face off with Cody, and then you had the two Tongas.
Yeah.
Tatangas against Tatanka. The two Tongas, and then you had Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And I was like, okay, this is actually quite clever. when you think about it, because
it was set up on SmackDown Friday.
They're going to get a lot of variations out of those 6 people interacting with each other. Yeah. And Money in the Bank, Cody doesn't necessarily have to defend at Money in the Bank. It could be a 6-man.
Yeah.
And you have it builds on Backlash with the tag team match. It allows Solo to mix it up as the leader of the 2 boys as well.
I also think I don't think Solo's ready for like a 20-minute.
Yeah, but like it allows Solo to mix it with these guys.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It gives him a chance to work a 20-minute match.
Yeah,
without being exposed. Yeah, like for being inexperienced.
I don't think he's going to be massively exposed.
No, I don't think. Like I think
he's adding to his arsenal as well with the spears. So.
Yeah. I do think like he's
getting a lot of shit online.
He has a lot of potential though.
Yeah,
like I think it'd be unfair to say he doesn't like. He couldn't be a top guy. He definitely could.
He is dressing a bit silly.
The costume needs sorting.
Yeah, the costume needs sorting. He looks like a circus when he wore the red suit. Yeah. Looks like a circus conductor or whatever.
But I do think like
they're bringing in another Tongan.
Hikuleo. Not good.
Yeah,
he's bad.
Where's Jacob Fatu?
I don't know. Like
bring in Jacob Fatu. We just want to see Jacob Fatu.
I want to see Jacob Fatu.
But people are saying that maybe one of the reasons, and this is purely speculation, that they're not bringing in Jacob Fatu is because he's going to
overshadow Solo, which he like at this stage of both of their careers he will. Like,
so do we wait? Do we wait for a Roman return
and then bring in Jacob Fatu?
Yeah, like ideally, what I want. And because this is where I'm struggling to see where Jacob Fatu fits
in, I know.
This is what I want, the original bloodline back. Like eventually, you want the Usos,
Roman and the Usos against Solo
and Sammy
and the Tatangas
and Sammy,
and then Jacob Fatu on the other side.
Yeah, but if you have the Tatangas and Hikuleo and
Hikuleo coming in as
and Solo, that's 4v4. But then you'll have The Rock, and then who's the great equalizer? Is it Jacob Fatu?
You're waiting so long to bring him in. Like that's putting a guy who's ready on ice just for a storyline with 2 part-timers.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
Right. And do
work it out. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Trips.
And yeah, I do this is the thing about guys who go through the developmental system in WWE versus guys who spend a long time working various indies is unfortunately for a lot of the guys who come through the developmental system, they don't get thrown in the deep end as such in terms of like you're now a main eventer in multiple.
They did in the old in NXT 2.0 or whatever. Like Braun, Solo,
Braun has thrived out of that.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jacob Fatu has been main eventing MLW and Indies for
different ball games. Like you look at say Will Ospreay,
he's got to work a style.
You look at Will Ospreay's camera work. Will Ospreay's camera work, like knowing where the cameras are, like he'll do a little turn to the camera. Did you see where he had the 2 belts on his shoulder and he just kind of did this little turn to the camera and you're like, that's TV wrestling.
Yeah.
So like maybe like with Jacob, they're going right. He needs to learn how to TV wrestle. This is purely speculation.
Oh yeah,
because there's so many cameras, you need to know where they all are.
Yeah.
So,
but see, I think like a lot of the stuff with guys coming in from New Japan is very stylized in their production. It's stylized differently to WWF, but it's very stylized, and they do a lot more ringside cameras and stuff, and like low to high angles.
Yeah.
And so for someone like Ospreay, who's worked at the top of New Japan, he has done TV wrestling, just stylistically slightly different from the American TV wrestling.
No, but TV wrestling stylistically with WWE or with AEW, you have to factor in a lot of ad breaks. You have to factor in
that's where those guys will have different struggles, is pacing of matches. Yeah. So remember the early days of AEW, and we were watching. They were
doing picture in picture on some things, and they were
doing some of the biggest spots of the match.
Yeah.
In we were getting it on the Fight TV international feed. So to us, we didn't know really when it was. What you could kind of tell because the commentators start doing mad shit. But you're like, oh right, this is the ad break that the Americans are seeing. Oh my God, Pac just did a 780 splash or whatever. Jordan,
but
the Americans are seeing that.
Yeah, but like in a way, that's kind of cool because you're like, oh, I can't miss any of this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I understand that. But we're kind of going off track.
Off track.
Yeah, I would say 3v3, that's some good variations on SmackDown over the next while. It's going to see
and they planted seeds for the next couple of months of storylines.
Yeah, what's happening with AJ TNA?
Also is Cody, does this lead to a Cody Randy Orton thing down the line?
Yeah, is Gunter going to pick Cody? Because Damian Priest referenced Gunter as well.
It's looking like Gunter and Damian Priest.
Does Gunter get to? I don't think Damian Priest makes it.
Might be wrestled for a while.
Yeah, I don't think Damian Priest though makes it to SummerSlam as champion, and we'll get into that in a bit.
Okay.
Do you want to move on to the triple threat tag team match?
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be 2 people in the ring at once.
Same.
And I was like, oh, there's 3.
They said it at the start commentators that this tag triple threat will be 3 people in the ring.
Yeah, and I was like,
you can only tag your teammate. And I was like, they've been doing these tag triple threats for 25 years.
Yeah, I was like, I
don't mind them changing.
I genuinely went, am I misremembering how they do this?
No, it used to be tag anyone and 2 in the ring.
Did you notice when Dawn and Alba initially came out, there wasn't a massive pop that you would expect?
Yeah, for home.
I was like that.
Particularly the first of the Scottish crowd to Scottish workers to appear.
But
they haven't had a super amount of TV time either.
Yeah, well, Isla Dawn I think has a lot of charisma. She's playing her part, and so is Alba.
To be fair, both work too.
Yeah, Alba is on the wrestler's wrestler almost. Yeah. Like Serena Deeb even. Whereas Isla is like the crazy person jumping around the place, and I was quite. I've seen him wrestle before.
Yeah, I thought,
and I've been similarly impressed. Plus, they had matching gear.
Yeah, you love that.
That's what tag teams are.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, sometimes 2 single people could be thrown together, but if you're going to be tag teams, if you're going to be tag team champions, match your gear. It just, I don't know, it makes you look like a tag team. I don't know why.
It's a team sport.
I know gear is hard to get. You know why? Because I'm trying to get gear and no one's messaging me back.
There you go.
They're probably like, he doesn't have enough followers.
But like, for 2 WWE workers, gear shouldn't be too hard to get. Matching gear.
Just match it.
Because Jade and Bianca looked fantastic.
They both looked great. Yeah. And Jade looked really cool. There was one stage when she looked up and she had
the face paint.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. And then they made reference to the Road Warriors.
Yeah, because Bianca had spikes and Jade had the face paint.
But their gear didn't match though.
No. Well, some, like, not total match, but there was
Shane and Zoe tried it. Oh, I like their... that's Shayna's kind of ace, and then they went like that for the Z for Zoe Stark.
I didn't notice that.
But they both went like that. So Zoe started off like that, and then went like that, and then Shayna did the opposite. And I was like, cool, they're a tag team. They have the hand signals.
They have something to signify they're a tag team.
Did you watch Shayna on NXT?
With
Lola Vice.
Yeah.
She lost
something different.
Yeah, she lost that recently. They did an NXT Underground thing. But
it was like the Josh Barnett's Bloodsport type style thing.
Which is cool. But like, I was looking at it going, they really fuck Shayna, didn't they? Like, she was great.
Yeah, she still is great. But Shayna's like over 40 now.
Yeah, I know, but when she was brought in initially, they kind of...
Deadly.
Yeah, like when she was in NXT, she was just madness.
And like, she was mauling the roster. Like,
Now, I know you can't do that with people, especially like Asuka's the prime example. When you call them up, you can't just have them on the run that they were in the next. You look at Amber Moon. What was her name?
Ember Moon.
What was her name?
Ember Moon was WWE. It's a Tina now.
Yeah, Tina. Yeah, you looked at when they brought her up. They didn't really, but she was great in.
She was awesome.
The only person that they really got behind, bar like the initial four horsewomen, was maybe Rhea.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, like they screwed Rhea over at the start as well.
Alexa, yeah, they did. Yeah,
like they had her lose to Charlotte at Mania. Yeah,
WrestleMania 36.
Yeah, 36 or 7.
Isn't that crazy? Like, she's been around for 4 WrestleManias.
Rhea's on the main roster nearly as long as Stone Cold Steve Austin was.
Yeah, I know.
It's like mad.
I was thinking about that with Cesaro, I think. I was like, Cesaro was there for like over a decade.
Yeah.
And like, Mick Foley's actual active wrestling run was like 4 years. If even.
No, 96, 6 years.
Active wrestling.
Mick Foley, 5 years then.
Because he was like commissioner in 2001. No, he was commissioner in 2001.
2000 then, 4 years.
WrestleMania 2000 was when he had...
that was his actual supposed retirement. He came out of retirement for that main event. Yeah.
So like he only had 96, 97, 98, 99, and then the start of 2000.
Technically, he retired at Royal Rumble 2000.
And it was the No Way Out 2000. It was the three stages of hell. Yeah. But you're like, think about all the cool stuff that he did in that time.
Well, there's a guy making the absolute most of...
Yeah, name me like one Cesaro moment.
Throwing
out the Big Show at WrestleMania under the Giant Battle Royal?
Yeah.
When he was yodeling?
Yeah, but like,
didn't he yodel for a while?
He also wasn't put in positions to have moments.
The bar, yeah, well, like that.
The bar was awesome.
That's another thing. Like, but I'm not having a gripe at Cesaro. I'm just saying
it's the way WWE was stylistically different. In like, I think WWE now
we're trying to create
harder
to create moments, maybe.
Yeah. Whereas like also Vince kind of went off the rails with creating moments,
just like we are with this podcast right now.
We've done one match. We're in our second match, which is a women's triple threat tag team title match, and we're talking about Cesaro and Mick Foley. Neither of who work for WWE.
But you would think that strange, like ICW gets a mention in the commentary. I was like, classic.
Drew showed up there on Friday. Didn't he?
And then Triple H forgot them in the presser. Well, like they were like, in your relationship with Mark Dallas, and he was like, yeah, I really like IWC and Mark Dallas. He forgot because they were asked the time when he was in ICW when Triple H showed up.
Yeah, he showed up there. Yeah.
Forgot the name of the company. Buckfast got a mention.
Buckfast got a mention. Was that this match?
Yeah. I was like, go on, Bucky. I drank it once and I thought I was going to die.
Oh, I loved Buckfast.
We're talking about WWE speed. You just need some Buckfast.
Back in my college days.
Did you like Buckfast?
I liked an old sip of Buckfast.
Bit of tonic wine.
It's Calpol for adults.
Oh.
Who like alcohol.
Who likes Buckfast? You.
Right in the comments below.
Yeah. ICW got mentioned, and then back to the actual match in itself. Sorry that you were saying stuff about Vince McMahon and creating moments.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well,
we'll do another episode on that.
And then I was looking at it going, this is no DQ, right?
It's triple threat rules, I'm assuming.
So why don't you just do a tornado?
Why it's not a tornado match?
Yeah, why do you have to go? So there's obviously tag rules.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they weren't doing the tag 5 count.
Were they not?
No, because Becky and Jade were in there for ages and the ref wasn't like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They were just running spots. So I was like, what's the point of the tag?
Yeah, look, the match wasn't great. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, but the logic was failing in it.
There was no logic in it.
But like
the match was fine. The right winners.
Alba Fire got the Scottish people on her side, I think, when she did the dive.
Yes.
She did a really cool dive. I didn't know about her, the tragedy that she's after experiencing.
I only found out that this morning.
Yeah, and I was like,
shocking.
I was like, oh my. Like, unbelievable to be able to go out there and perform.
Perform like that, yeah.
The big story is the winners, but the other story that's coming out of it is the performance of Jade Cargill.
Botching a couple of spots.
Like Chris Jericho even says it when people are like, you fucked up, or people saying botching. Fuck you, it's live stunts.
Yeah, you're going to botch.
And other people are going to argue going, well, she shouldn't be in that position. It was like, it happens. Has anybody ever tried to jump on those ropes? Like literally, like people that aren't it's really hard.
Yeah.
Especially, I was running spots.
Have you tried to jump on a fence which is static? That's hard.
Yeah. But
ropes move.
I thought she recovered well in certain aspects. When her leg got caught, she did a set-out powerbomb. Yeah. When she jumped up onto the ropes and she fell, I thought she recovered well. And in the long term...
It was a great tribute to CM Punk.
Yeah.
What'd you make of that, Dunphy?
What's your problem with Punk? Like, oh no, we'll get into that.
Can I just pause us there for a second? I
have one more point to finish it. In the long term, the fact that she was able to recover from that will be better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The mistakes that you make,
the match didn't fall apart.
Yeah, it's very hard from a professional wrestler.
He got paid once.
Yeah, he got paid once. It's very hard though to not lose track when something goes
100%,
wrong.
Yeah.
Like me and Dunphy were talking about running spots and like throwing a clothesline, and the other person was meant to duck and they don't duck, and then they get cracked. Yeah. And then you're kind of like, oh well, they were meant to come back and do this to me, and
so
now
what do I do now?
How do we get to that spot again? You know what I mean? It's very hard to be able to do that, and I thought she did brilliantly in that. So the fact that she messed up, big deal. But everyone makes mistakes. Everyone messes up. Relatively new to this whole sport, she looks great. Sometimes people get pushed because they look great.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? The other argument is, oh well, she might hurt somebody.
It's wrestling. People are going to
I don't think anything she did.
Owen Hart was an unbelievable professional wrestler, and he broke Stone Cold's neck.
And then Stone Cold started crying. I don't think
live on TV.
Yeah, but I don't think she's doing things that are particularly unsafe. Maybe the pace that she's going at is she's trying to be too fast to match other people.
Here's my problem. This will come back to the Shawn Michaels thing earlier on, right? With the Performance Center, they have this obsession with particularly with the women's wrestlers, doing high spots. All of them do flips and twists.
Zoe Stark's twist into the ring is phenomenal.
Yeah. But so you have this thing, and it's becoming homogenized. If you look at, like, what was it, the NXT Battleground with the women's ladder match? They were doing all sorts of high spots, one after another, after another, after another. Jade Cargill is your Brock Lesnar. She should not be doing
jumps onto the ropes.
She's your monster. Let her be your monster. Not Nyla Rose style massive strong monster. She's your Brock Lesnar athletic monster. She doesn't need to be doing a fucking springboard.
Let Bianca do that. Bianca's watching Bianca Belair is just...
She is one... I think, oh God, she has to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, she's unbelievable.
I looked at her and...
She's so crisp.
Yeah, I was blown away.
She's awesome.
Now, I know the 450, she dropped the knees.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that was very sore.
That looked sore.
Yeah, are people giving out about that? Because that in itself is a botch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're dropping...
Like, in general, she's super crisp and she can make mistakes.
Yeah, she can, exactly.
But, like, I just think with Jade, it's like her falling off the ropes and having that botch moment. That's not her fault. She shouldn't be booked to do that. Like...
What about when Cargill seemed to have tapped after being...
That was weird.
Yeah. And the fact that they referenced it, I thought was weird.
I don't know what happened there.
I've seen that happen a few times. I can't...
Is it just a brain fart moment where you're like, you don't realise that you're doing a tapping
sometimes
motion?
You see a wrestler doing like that. And you're like, that's a tap.
Yeah, like it's like banging the mat to be like, I'm in pain, but I'm not tapping, but you're tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just brain fart moment.
Yeah, and then she kind of
did two on her arm.
She kept doing that, and you're like, oh, okay, is she trying to make up for it? The end was a bit sloppy.
Yeah, but the second half of the match was just sloppy in general.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know what that happens. Yeah. I'm not making...
It wasn't a terrible match by any means.
It wasn't, and it was cool. They definitely see something in Dawn.
Protect Jade Cargill and stop in the Performance Centre trying to make all the women do the same stuff.
Do you think that's what they're doing? All doing the same stuff? They're all being taught in the same way as the males. Like, are the males all doing different things in your opinion?
I just think with women's matches, they've become like extended choreography sequences of high spots when, like, there isn't enough distinct wrestling going on. Like, like each wrestler has these different unique characteristics to their style of in-ring wrestling. It's like too homogenized and perfect almost. I think the men don't get pushed into those style of matches as much. I think like that's like Jade Cargill is obviously working at a Performance Centre. I think Jade Cargill is like...
They're not going to have Brooks Jensen doing springboards.
No.
Or Braun Breaker doing springboards.
No, exactly. Like,
have her be Braun Breaker.
She's Braun Breaker. I said Brock Lesnar. Actually have her do what Braun Breaker does.
Yeah.
Like, super athletic.
Coming in, mowing people down.
Yeah, mow people down. Don't be doing springboards. Like,
a shoulder tackle from Jade Cargill
would look
should be like a massive moment for Jade Cargill. She doesn't need to do springboards.
No,
doesn't need to do like mad stuff.
Develop a really good lariat, a really good shoulder tackle,
power moves like the setup. Her power moves, awesome.
Like she already has 5 or 6 power moves that look fantastic. Develop a few more transitional moves, and that's all you need from her.
Yeah,
she could easily do 7-minute amazing single matches with a good shoulder tackle, a good lariat, some good striking, and the 4 or 5 moves.
Hey, Goldberg got over on a spear and a jackhammer.
She doesn't need to be doing them things. Protect her.
Yeah, but they definitely see something with Nyla Dawn. She got the pin, and in a very cheeky way that seemed to have protected Bianca and Jade. Jade it almost looked like Jade botched it or whatever, but like it looked cool. There was a cool visual, and normally I would think, it's just what's Bianca doing, but the way the camera was set up, it looked like Jade blocked Bianca from getting into the ring to break it up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what's going on there?
That's really... Bianca would try to go over and she fell over Jade. And I was like, with the way the camera angle, they're seeding something there.
Maybe, yeah.
So Bianca and Jade.
Yeah, I think they'll hold off on that for a long time. Although with Triple H's story...
SummerSlam.
No, too soon.
No, it's not.
I think Jade needs more time.
Bianca needs to be a heel. Let her be a heel.
Bianca be the heel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let Bianca be a heel.
It would freshen up the singles.
I've been saddled with this one for how long? Put her with the Street Profits. I'm sorry, B-Fab. Put her with the Street Profits because she's with Montez, and push Bianca and Montez.
Yeah, look, it would freshen up the top of the singles divisions. I'm not totally against that. But
And Bianca,
I also think,
out of anybody that deserves to be a cocky heel,
yeah,
she's never
had that.
She is phenomenal. Yeah. Like, she deserves to be like, I'm the best. Fucking screw you guys. Yeah. Screw you, Cody Rhodes.
She's class. Like,
yeah, she can be just.
She has everything. She is so athletic. It's freakish. Like,
whip the shit out of people with her hair. But that was it. A lot of people shocked by the results. Do you think the result of the tag team
foreshadowed other results?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. It did. Yeah. As soon as they won, I was like, They had to give
because they had the out as well. You don't need to pin Jade or Bianca. You can pin Zoe or Shayna, and they obviously don't care about Shayna anymore. So.
Yeah, she has her spit. Yeah.
Then we get into another break between matches. They were shorter than the last one.
It felt shorter, definitely.
But when I seen the greatest, I was like, they're not bringing back the greatest Royal Rumble, are they? They're not bringing back
a 100-man Royal Rumble.
We need Yokozuna. Yokozuna's dead. Let's bring another sumo wrestler.
Akebono!
Yeah, where's Mansoor when we need him? Oh, he's going with TNA. He's in Uganda. Soft Ground Wrestling. Man, I went to see... Shout out. Shout out to Soft Ground Wrestling. I went to... shout out. I went to Manchester to a house show over in... I've actually been to 2 or 3 house shows in Manchester.
Nice. Manchester's a great city.
Oh, yeah. I love Manchester.
Shout out Manchester.
But, like, flying specifically over. Like,
for a house show.
There'd be a house show in Dublin. I'm like, I'll go to Manchester.
I would too.
Yeah, but Mason and Mansoor were awesome.
Well, I didn't... And this is one of the things, apologies, I was unfamiliar with your game. I really enjoyed their social media work post WWE. I think they're really funny.
You were unfamiliar with their game?
Back when they were in WWE.
I thought you were talking about my game. I was like, what game?
No, I'm familiar with your game. No, Mason Mansoor, they've really grown on me with their social media work.
They didn't get a lot of TV time.
No.
There were a lot of negative sentiment towards them because of Max Dupree, who was LA Knight, and you're like, just let him be LA Knight. They had Maxine with them.
Yeah, maximum male models and all that
but
kind of stuff.
them on the house shows were awesome.
I'd say they were very funny.
They were fun. They were doing promos before matches. Then they were coming out and they were and I was like, how are they not pushing these guys?
Yeah, why aren't they on my TV?
And then Pretty Deadly just kind of became them as well. Yeah, they were quite similar. And I like Pretty Deadly. I'm like, give them a push.
Yeah, like it's
you have tag teams,
and you have hours of TV time.
Yeah, you have 2 tag team championships, and you're already teasing Theory and Waller. The other one is a comedy. Pretty Deadly can be Pretty Deadly. Let them be Pretty Deadly. Bring back Mason Mansoor. They're probably going to TNA or AEW anyway.
I'd say did they do
Collision? I heard they're coming to do.
Yes, they were announced for Collision. Not this week, next week.
Yeah.
And
like AEW has a load of tag teams that you can just take because they don't care about them. So because they're bringing in Mason Mansoor and stuff. So
they brought in Grizzled Young Vets a few weeks ago for a Collision.
Yeah, like don't just bring him in for a clip. I know WWE didn't do much with him with the diet.
Grizzled Young Vets should be brought in full time.
Grizzled Young Vets should be on the WWE main roster.
Yeah, they should have been like years ago.
They put him with Joe Gacy and Rocky's kid.
Yeah,
Ava Rain. In what was Schism? The Schism, and then they Rip Fowler, and they changed their names and they gave him stupid eye contacts and
Jagger Reed
and Rip Fowler, and you're like, no,
these guys are just let them be like grizzled young veterans.
Yeah, let them be awesome, like, which they were. We talk about awesome. Sammy versus Chad.
Yeah, go on.
Before we get into that, we get another QR code, and you're just like, oh, we're coming. All right, fucking, was it Veer?
Yeah, Veer. Remember how long he was coming for?
Yeah, it's a Veer is coming. And
did that go on for 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, and then he got like fired. I think they realised that there was a joke about it, and they're like, you know what, we're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, but then he did like 3-4 matches on main event squashes, and then he just left.
He got sacked.
He came and went.
Yeah, in the Sure, we're like, that's a good idea for a tag team.
Yeah.
Like, you need identifiable tag teams in the vein of the Nasty Boys, Bushwhackers, Natural Disasters.
Go back and check out our tag team episode where we lament
the lack of identifiable tag teams.
Yes.
Okay, that was a nice Touchback. Yeah, nice shout out. You're all about the shout outs.
I'm all about shout outs. I have a shout out later on.
I was actually watching when Tugboat turned on the Bushwhackers to join Earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, nice. And then I was like, why is...
Shout out Tugboat.
Shout out Tugboat. No, actually, shout out Fred. Because I was asked on this podcast, I was like, what was his real name? And I was like, I know this. And then without Googling it, it came to me. I think it's Fred Turner.
Yeah, sounds...
Because we were talking about the Shockmaster.
Threw me off.
Yeah, maybe it's not Turner, but it's Fred. Maybe it's not Turner. Definitely Fred, because
is he like
he's
Cody Rhodes'
Shockmaster.
uncle or...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So the Shockmaster, I think Cody was talking about, he was like, that's Uncle Fred. Maybe it's not Turner.
It's not his actual
we're going to check out.
I don't think it's Turner.
No, I don't
Turner
think...
doesn't sound right.
It is Fred, though.
Does sound right.
It is Fred. Maybe it's... we're Googling it now in real time.
Real time. This is real time.
The internet's not working. Getting on then to the QR code stuff.
Yeah, don't care. Don't care about the QR code stuff.
Fred Ottman. Damn it, where's fucking Turner coming from?
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll edit this out. Macho! There's your clap. That's an edit point. It's not going to happen. This is going to stay in.
Good, I'm glad it does.
Matchew's just editing going, who's talking now? Who's talking now? I'm like, Matthew, just get AI to get caught up. He's like, nah.
Just press the button.
Just press the...
He's let's talk shit again.
Yeah. But are you looking forward to that faction? Now,
no.
When we're talking about this could have already happened on Raw. There is talk of it. I am. I like this stuff. And I also like the words that are coming out going...
It's more realistic.
Yeah, a lot of people were, with Bray. Look at the Bray Wyatt documentary. Shout out to that.
Shout out Bray Wyatt
the only one,
wrestling fan wrestling show on YouTube.
There's only one Bray Wyatt documentary.
But there's only one Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
but are they trying to recreate something?
No, because they're going to take away the supernatural elements of it. Like they tried to.
When Bray Wyatt and them came first, and it wasn't the supernatural, it was the southern.
It was class, but they fucked it.
Deadly.
They fucked it with the Ring of Fire straight away. You're just like, come on, Cape Fear. That's all you have to do.
Just do that.
Just do Cape Fear.
Cape Fear, or like True Detective season 1.
Just do that.
You can do cult stuff without it being supernatural.
Yeah, you don't need to be spooky, and you don't need to be, like.
But I'm not
burning Sister Abigail and then putting the ashes on your face. And
what else isn't any good? Like,
I just want to see Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, maybe Nikki Cross, Bo Dallas, and the possibility. Because the one thing that annoyed me with the Wyatt family is that they were a cult that couldn't get people to join them.
Yeah.
He got Braun in the end. He got Daniel Bryan, who turned his back on him. He got
the Daniel Bryan thing wasn't
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. They reran the Daniel Bryan
They should have done Bo Dallas should have joined him, his brother. Yeah. I know he got Alexa in the end, but the Wyatt family were gone. And then he let Rowan and Harper free, and then they came back, and then they went again, and they were the Bludgeon Brothers, and you're just like, just let them.
Identifiable tag team.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I don't care. I really don't care. This isn't my cup of tea. It's not my wheelhouse.
You need a good old cult.
Like
people.
Even
Joe Gacy is great.
House of Black, I feel very underwhelmed by over the last couple of years.
The way they're presented.
I know, but I don't think in modern wrestling you can present those things in a satisfiable way.
I think you can.
Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
With competent people booking it. Talking about competent booking, then the build to Sammy versus Chad has been very good.
Yes.
I just wrote down
some incompetent booking within the match.
I just was like, Gable has to win.
Yeah, Gable had to win.
I love Otis.
It was the time.
I love Otis. Like I really do. I think there was a promo that he did with Sammy where he was like, Sammy's like, why did you just leave him? And he's like, I can't. Everyone, I have to keep him on my side because Mandy Rose left me.
Yeah.
Tucker left me. I had the money in the bank and I failed with that.
And Chad has always been there.
Yeah, Chad is.
And I was like, he's a prick.
I was like, that's a great promo there. I was like, I love Otis. I've always loved Otis. I loved Heavy Machinery. Identifiable tag team with a cool finish.
Yeah.
The trash compactor.
Otis has. He is amazing at generating sympathy from the crowd.
Yeah.
There's a real connection between the crowd and Otis.
Yeah, and you can see that when just with a look. The best thing at the start of that match, because I noticed right at the start there was no mad moves. It was just all story. Yeah. And you could tell when Sammy goes outside the ring and just makes eye contact with Otis, and everyone just goes mad.
Otis looks up at Chad. Chad is like,
Everyone goes mad. And you're like, that's exactly it. Sammy is selling his arm intermittently, I felt.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, my arm, okay, use my arm for a springboard.
Yeah,
oh, my arm.
There was some really good wrestling.
That Michinoku driver with one arm was insane.
Unreal.
That looked
like
class.
You're looking at, honestly, right? And I said this after we watched King and Queen of the Ring about Gunter as well. But like, Jesus, Chad Gable and Sami Zayn are fucking deadly pro wrestlers. Like.
Yeah. I was hoping for the DDT through the bottom ropes.
Yeah, I was thought that as well. I don't think, obviously, look, Sammy's a bit older.
I think he can do it.
I don't know. Like, the thing, and this, I love MMA and boxing as well, obviously, and I talk about it a lot, but like, there's this thing in MMA as where by the time you get to your IQ peak as a fighter, your body's already starting to fail.
Oh, wow.
You know, so like, in your as you rise up the ranks, you're getting there.
You're fucked.
Well, we're all fucked. You're getting. Like,
I've just started wrestling. Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, so you're going to be getting to your IQ peak in about 15 years.
My IQ peak is I don't have any.
But I think Sammy feels like a wrestler now who's really at the peak of his wrestling IQ.
But his body isn't there.
His body isn't what it was.
Well, of course,
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, but like, so he has changed or removed certain moves from his moveset, like the through the ropes DDT.
Yeah, but it makes it more special when he does pull it off. He can definitely pull it off.
Do you think he can still pull it off?
100%.
I hope he could.
Sammy fucking Zayn.
Dead. Like, he's such a great cerebral wrestler.
I've always really liked Sammy. Like, his NXT championship win was amazing.
Unbelievable.
The stuff with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, his match with Nakamura was
Cena when he came onto the scene.
Unbelievable.
Then, like, he's had Johnny Knoxville. That was a phenomenal match.
That was actually a work of genius.
Yeah,
like that was Sami Zayn's Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
Of pro wrestling.
I think it was. It was fantastic.
Like, it's not my type of thing, and I fucking loved every single minute of it.
Yeah, Sammy is great. So is Chad though.
Awesome.
When we were at the
last night was his night.
When we were at when we were at the wrestling training camp, right?
Mm-hmm. Chad Gable was there.
When we were at the wrestling,
Healy Rey Mysterio was there.
Healy Rey Mysterio was there. Yeah, he's top dog. He's only 4'2". When we were at the wrestling training camp, the Freshness, which is Fabio and Martin Steers, they were doing a spot, and in the middle of their spots, they would do like a pose. Like, just being the annoying heels that they are. They do a little dance or whatever. And Joe Cabrera made a point to say, I really like the Freshness because they make every moment in the match have a moment. Like, they'll do a move and then they'll get their character over. They'll do a hip toss. They'll do their pose.
Jeff Jarrett doing the walk, like.
Yeah, no, but like everything. Like, they'll do a hip toss. They'll do their little pose, or they'll say something to your man, or you know what I mean? They're in character all the time. And that came back to me when I seen Chad Gable do his diving headbutt, but he's doing the peace sign when he does it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, that's so cool. That's his character. He comes out, he does that. So when he's doing his diving headbutt, of course he's going to go, shoosh.
Yeah.
Not do the shoosh, but boom. They also took the shoosh out of his entrance music.
They had to, yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, class.
Yeah.
Bang. Now diving headbutts.
I don't know if we're doing diving headbutts in 2024.
I was watching Bam Bam and Bret Hart, the King of the Ring.
93?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bam Bam does the diving headbutt. And like, it looks devastating, but when you actually look at it, and I'm quite weird for this because I noticed it and then I tried to pause it to get the moment. He doesn't connect to him at all.
Does he not? No.
No, but it looks like Bam Bam diving off the ropes headbutt.
Yeah, and then Brett selling it and Bam Bam pure safety, not getting the head impact onto someone's chest or shoulder, yeah.
But like, I'd seen on Twitter, someone was like, get rid of the diving headbutt. Because you watch Harley Race do it, and sometimes it looks like he's knocking himself out. Yeah. I was watching Harley Race wrestle some Australian guy there recently, because I'm just getting
You're in a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I'm getting so invested in it. But like, diving headbutts in itself, when you see Redacted doing it, you're like, man, that looks sick. Don't say his name. Dynamite Kid doing it, like, that has the potential to really hurt.
Sure, look,
when Danielson does it, I'm like, oh,
that's the man who shouldn't be doing it. Like,
yeah, but I just thought it was cool where he was like,
peace.
And the German suplexes spots.
What's the name of the German suplex where you do the roll through deadlift pickup type thing?
Chaos Theory.
Yes.
That was Doug Williams used to do it.
Yes.
Jesus.
That when Gable does it looks so good.
Before that though, Sammy does a German.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest looking Germans that I've ever seen. Was that because he was selling his hand? So he does it.
I think so, yeah.
He just kind of dropped back. He
was going over a shoulder rather than over your head.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, if that's a sell, that's really cool.
It kind of looked sore as well, didn't it?
But then they were doing the spots where I'm getting behind you. No, I'm getting behind you. It's like they were playing WWE.
Which one was that?
Fucking
Best of Pain or something?
Yeah. You're just reverse.
I think they were doing a shout out to the game, like, because they did it like 5 times.
Yeah, it was a bit. I don't know. I was kind of like, lads, you don't need to be doing that. Then there was no. Did you notice then when Chad got Sammy in the ankle lock, there was no heat for it.
For the submission.
They were like,
the fuck?
He's not tapping out. There's more of this story to go.
Yeah.
Melodrama.
Now, right, I was loving this match.
You hate the commentary on it, you told me.
Oh my god, the fucking commentary. Nearly forgot about the fucking
Oh my god, the commentary.
There was so much fucking, particularly in the first half of the match when they were wrestling real good.
They weren't. It was all story, I thought. No mad moves up
they didn't. Not mad moves, but like they were doing good shit. Like I was really invested in what they were doing.
Shit.
Good shit. And the commentary were just bickering back and forth, not like incessantly for
was
minutes
there someone
on
in?
end.
Was there someone in particular? Like
Was it Wade Barrett?
I was about to say, did you like Wade Barrett?
No,
I like Wade Barrett.
Sometimes I do. I think it was the next match where I was like, okay, Jesus, they're commentating. This is actually really good. But like, this is Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Like, I don't need you bickering over it. Like,
what were they bickering about?
I don't fucking even know.
I didn't notice it. I thought it was great.
Just
they mentioned
nonsense.
Buckfast, and I was like, yeah,
ICW, nonsense, non-stop for like, there was like a 5-minute spell where it was just Cole and Wade Barrett incessantly bickering over the match.
Do you want Vince back to be in the rear?
No.
But
like someone just ran that shit in. Like, there's too much of it in wrestling in general, bickering on the commentary box. Like, just tell the fucking story. Like, you know what I mean?
Did you see that clip with Shivani and Taz?
Yes.
Like, what? Taz is actually getting mad.
Tetchy,
but you're liking that.
No. I mean, like, sometimes they overdo it on AEW as well.
I'm not comparing them. No, I'm just saying.
I know what you mean. They don't do it as much,
right?
Which I'm fine with, but it does piss me off sometimes there too.
Did it used to piss you off with Heenan and Gorilla?
I was too young.
I'd love. Oh, would you stop it?
Yeah, like
I'd love that.
I was young then, though. Now I don't need like.
I need that Bobby Heenan stuff.
I think maybe also it's become 25 years of.
You need a heel and babyface commentator.
No issue with that.
And they need to go.
But they have to get the balance right.
Do you ever see NXT? Is Booker T is almost like the face?
Yeah.
Where who's your man? Vic Joseph, is it?
Vic Joseph, yeah.
He's sometimes like a heel to Booker, and you're like, who the fuck you, Vic Joseph, to be a heel to my Booker T?
And
I know, shucky, quack, quack. That's what I want to hear. Like,
it was just too much of it in that match.
Fucking Buff Egan, he's stealing all his things for wrestling. My brother was like, oh, he loves GEA. And he says wrestling is shit.
And
I was
he does.
I watched it. He was looking at Buff Egan.
Acknowledge me.
He was looking at Buff Egan videos, and I was like, he's taking all that. He was just delete. Yeah. All that is from wrestling. All you GA fans, do you know this? That Buff Egan is stealing the stuff from wrestling? Now, I know Buff likes wrestling.
I'm a big GA fan as well, but I don't follow Buff.
I know Buff likes wrestling, and that's fair enough. But don't come to me. Or
the wrestling guy.
Don't come to the ring and be like, oh, wrestling's stupid. And the guy that you're following also follows wrestling. And the stuff that you're saying, I see GA fans and they're saying Buff Egan stuff, but they're actually saying wrestling stuff. All right?
Have been for years.
I'm not a loser. Stop bullying me. That's all I'm saying. If you like Buff, you like wrestling. That's the way it works.
If you like Buff, you should follow him.
Yeah. Follow the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. Actually, Buff, if you want to come on and I do your stuff, Buff. There we go.
This is the stuff.
Buff the stuff. There's a clip.
Yeah. So then we get into the second half of the match, right?
Sorry. Before we get that,
go on.
Ankle lock.
No heat.
No heat. Do you think it would be better? And I was watching this, and maybe it's just me. Chad Gable does the crossface chicken wing instead. No, he does like a Bob Backlund. Instead of having this kind of,
he has traps like he could do something that accentuate the upper body.
Well, you have a constant reminder that he's Kurt Angle kind of thing.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Kurt Angle is my favorite wrestler of all time. But like, you know, Chad doing a crossface chicken wing where he's this Shorty Generico. But, you know, he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
They actually made reference to it on commentary or something. He's after losing a few inches, after that scary, he lands on his head.
Yeah.
That scary, is it dragon suplex or whatever, one of those. And he lands on his head. He's like, he's after losing a few inches and he didn't have much to lose. You're like, oh. But like something where he's kind of like this wiry guy that just latches onto you, starts pulling your neck and your arm apart.
Possibly.
A chicken wing like Bob Backlund.
Yeah. Like there was no heat for the ankle lock, so maybe it's time for something different.
Yeah, and it was
but
like,
also maybe he needs to beat more people with it.
I was like, is that his finish? Is it the Chaos Theory?
Chaos. It's a different...
It's a different name.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. It was the Chaos Theory's name, wasn't it? With Doug Williams. But there was a great close call with that.
There was a fantastic close call with it.
And then we get back into more story.
Melodrama TM.
I like. So when Gable hits Maxine,
yes,
and then he gets up, and then they just look at each other. But that's the biggest reaction of the match.
Yeah. Now here is where I have some issues with that. Again, this thing of accidentally hitting someone, and the other person involved not understanding it's an accident.
Now, to be fair, I know what you're saying, but Otis doesn't have the benefit of
replays and so on.
Yeah, so
Otis is a human adult.
But Chad already tried to go after Maxine. Otis stopped it.
Yeah.
Otis turns around. Otis is going to hit him. Otis is then turned around to Maxine, and then it happens. So he's like,
what the fuck happened here?
Yeah. And he's getting really annoyed. And then he doesn't even hit Gable anyway. You know, he's just like, did you just, what happened here? And then he picks her up and walks out. Yeah. The one thing that I don't like in all this, because I thought that made sense, was the referee going over to Chad. And he's like, stay back. And Chad's like, yeah, Otis.
Otis, right in front of the ref. Yeah,
do it. Maxine, hit him with the belt. Yeah. What? And then the ref's there for like 5 minutes. And he's like...
And Chad isn't even looking at the ref.
Like, get over it. And you're like, ref.
I know.
You made the ref look stupid.
Yeah. But like... Look, it wasn't as bad as, who was it? Was it Matt Taven bouncing off the rope in front of the ref?
Yeah, it's just boom, boom.
I felt
he has to run over and check if Taven is okay. Fuck that.
I felt they went to the melodrama probably one or two times
which
too
is
many.
Kind of Triple H's wheelhouse. Like,
it is, I know.
You got that a lot in NXT. We had it with Ciampa and Gargano.
Gargano was full to... Adam Cole was a melodrama merchant in NXT. I think just that, like, when it's used sparingly, it can be super effective. I feel like with WWE now, they're leaning more and more into it because of the success of the Bloodline stuff. And I personally...
It's getting over with people, man.
I know it's getting over.
And when Otis does turn, it's going to be massive. But I don't want Otis to turn. I want Otis to
double down.
To almost be more serious. And be a monster.
And be the fourth man of the Chad and the Creed's...
exactly. Just being like Otis going to reach his full protection. He's not going to be, Tucky. He's not going to be all that. He's not going to be coming out doing shoes.
Like, what does he do as a babyface?
After that.
Yeah. Like, you have the Chad Gable feud. Chad probably goes over because, you know, there's more upside in him. And then what do you do with Otis as a babyface?
Unless he has like a Mick... But he does have this lovable rogue Mick Foley nature to him as well. But I think if he's become...
probably more longevity for him...
As a heel.
As a heel being the muscle for... Chad and the Creeds.
But like not just being like someone to get in the way of Chad, or to block people from getting in the way of Chad. It's to be like very competitive himself.
Yeah. And like, is there more meat in it for him if he doesn't turn and he finally realizes, actually, you know what?
I need to reach my
Chad
potential.
is right.
Yeah.
Chad is right. I'm going to fucking destroy Sami Zayn or destroy whoever is in my way.
100%.
But you know, I just think what they will do is they'll turn him. He'll go off into a program with Chad. Sami Zayn will now go into a program with Braun. and whatever will happen after that will happen. Whereas I think the more
I think an American Alpha with Creed, Gable, and Otis is a perfect faction.
Money, yeah.
It's a perfect faction.
Yeah, to have every base covered there, to have a great singles guy, to have a great muscle, and to have a potentially great tag team.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And it takes away those team angle comparisons with the Creeds.
With the singles guy and the tag team. Yeah.
You're just bringing in an extra guy, which is
like it was a really good match. I just felt they went fucking slightly too much.
And Gable should have won.
Gable should have won. Yeah, it was Gable. It's Gable's
He's re-signed.
Time,
he re-signed.
It's his time. Now's his time. Gable's like 38 or something. You know what I mean? He's not getting any younger.
Well, I was looking at.
I want him to get his big singles run as some sort of champion while he's still physically at his peak.
I was looking at it going, Sammy's won. Crowd favourites, Alba and Isla have won.
Yeah.
And Cody, the babyface, has won.
Yeah.
You're like, they're setting up for something big here. This is going to happen. And we'll get to the main event very, very soon. Next match is Bayley versus Piper. Bayley is still a face at the end of the day.
I know, look, she's so great that the fans love her anyway.
Yeah, and Chelsea at Green, I think, is brilliant.
Again, another match with slight shenanigans that I didn't really need. When she's brilliant, she's a brilliant performer.
Chelsea Green.
Yes.
Say her name right. Chelsea Green.
And when she got, what do you call it?
Fired?
No, fucked out by the ref.
Oh, yeah. You're out of here.
You're out of here. Big pop. When she comes back in the lucha mask, I was like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, it was a bit silly, but so was Chelsea.
I know, but we've had the mother stuff in the first match.
Yeah.
And now we've had all the Otis and Maxine stuff in the third match. And now we're getting Chelsea stuff in the fourth match.
But how do you know it was Chelsea and not Rey Mysterio?
It could have been...
It could be Healy Rey Mysterio.
Jeez, he's looking well.
Someone put it up on Twitter. It's like, Rey Mysterio getting involved in something that he shouldn't be again, the deadbeat. And you're like, yes.
It was just again, we're 4 matches into a 5-match card.
To be fair, I have Green in a mask, outside interference after Sammy and Chad. AEW question mark? Because that's what they get a lot of criticism
I know, and AEW used... Do you know when AEW came along and we watched however many pay-per-views over the first 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
There was fuck all interference.
Right.
And then we watched Double or Nothing last month. Revolution, there wasn't much interference. We watched Double or Nothing last month.
It was like, here's a big Brian
5
Keith
matches with interference.
Brian Keith interference.
And I really liked the pay-per-view, but fuck off doing interference or fuck off doing all this outside stuff.
I like that they call Chelsea El Gran Luchadora.
Yeah, that was funny.
It even harpens back to El Gran Luchador back in the JBL times.
Yeah.
When he's beating up Shannon Moore and Paul London under a mask. And then Kurt Angle comes out dressed as
the Luchador.
Yeah, I think Eddie as well. There was a few great spots in it. The belly to belly or belly to belly off the ropes.
Fucking looked phenomenal.
Fucking brilliant.
Do you know what I think I like about Piper, right?
She got a lot of stick online for being a bit sloppy.
She was a little bit sloppy, but if you go, right, if we look back at the last pay-per-view, we had Nyla Rose versus...
Nia Jax,
sorry.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose is
AEW.
Nia Jax versus...
Lyra
Valkyrie. Valkyria. Did she used to be called Valkyrie?
Yeah, okay. But then there was Tara Valkyrie then.
Yes, Taya Valkyrie.
Taya with Johnny Morrison.
Yeah.
Nitro.
So they changed it to Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
So if you look back to that match, right? Again, that was a match I quite enjoyed. I thought it was very well structured. They played the David and Goliath fairly well in that match at King and Queen of the Ring a month ago. Similar body types, Nia and Piper.
Piper can do so much more.
Piper can do so much more.
Yeah.
The urgency is just...
The agility,
urgency, intensity. I think she's great. Right, she was a little bit sloppy. But how do you combat sloppiness for a wrestler is more ring time?
I didn't even notice this. I just thought it was a nice hard hitting.
Yeah, I've seen the sloppy complaints online. I was when it's a bit over the top.
It felt like whenever someone hit the mat, there was a good sound out of it because they were hitting the mat with force.
Yeah.
That belly to belly that was really impressive. I loved the call when there was a black hole slam outside the ring. And
that looked unreal.
Yeah, but it just slammed her into the abyss. And I was like, that was Abyss's own move. Yes, Abyss is probably sitting backstage. I was like...
He's probably edging into the match.
I was like, this is for the marks like me. little things like that. I was like, yes!
And it looked unreal on the...
Boom.
Whatever you call that thing on the outside as well.
And then the crucifix driver to win the match. Like and that's why I talk about the sound of the ring. When Piper went over for that.
Yeah.
Like, a crucifix is mentally hard to actually take as a move.
You feel like you're landing on your neck.
Yeah, well, normally, like when you roll back and stuff, it depends on your opponent's body and where they are and what type of pivot point you can have. But to just fling yourself back like that and expose yourself, bang, like that looked awesome.
It looked deadly, and like I think there was an over rotation in it as well.
It looked amazing,
and I thought Bayley adjusted really well with the over rotation, which made it actually look more hard hitting. I thought it was a decent match.
But when Bayley won, I was like, we're just getting like, and even though Piper was like a heel, and it was in Scotland, so like by proxy could be a face, but like Bayley was the face in that.
Yeah,
and
but like technically the main event was two heels. And how they're presented on the roster.
Yeah.
Like Priest and McIntyre are presented as
But
heels.
McIntyre's the hometown babyface. And I was like, so we've had like
all faces.
All the crowd, the bar Piper maybe, but like this chant.
Bayley's also a face there.
Yeah, so we've had all the big feel good moments for the faces. Yeah. One thing I will say is when Bayley's music came on and she was the champion, I just have written down, I fucking hate Def Rebel's music.
Fucking shit.
It's so bad.
I know we did a bit on it at start, but again, like Bayley is so charismatic.
Bring back the wacky waving an inflatable arm flapping tube, man. Wacky waving an inflatable arm flapping tube, man. Wacky waving an inflatable arm flapping tube.
You don't need to go back to that, Bayley, but like, she's incredibly charismatic, and in the music is just a damp squib. It's a wet fart of music.
WWE Speed, is that wet fart?
Yes.
I haven't watched much of it now, to be fair.
I've seen some clips on
X. Degeneration. Andrade, the WWE Speed champion, reportedly unhappy as well already.
Shock horror.
He seems like...
Just go to see him at Elbow, be the top guy, you know what I mean?
Huh?
Just go to see him at Elbow and be the top guy.
Yeah.
Arena Mexico are selling out every
awesome.
Friday.
He can be awesome though. Like
I know,
like
but
his match with Johnny Gargano is one of my favorite matches of all time.
I thought up to that point it was the best match ever under a WWE banner. Maybe with
Gargano and Andrade, best match ever under a WWE banner, including Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. And
yes, including that. But my one caveat was maybe not Bret and Austin WrestleMania 13.
Wow,
That's how good I thought that match was.
It was amazing.
It was unfucking class.
Unfucking class. And he had some great matches with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, AEW.
He was deadly in the Continental Classic last year.
Yeah, but you can't remember many standout moments for him.
His match with Daniel Bryan was Bryan Danielson was great.
Cody.
He had a great match with Daniel Garcia as well.
But never really did much with him.
Well, it's not. I think as well, when he left WWE a couple of years ago, he changed his style from his NXT style. Or he had changed his style, and I don't think what we all got with him in AEW was what
we wanted.
We wanted the NXT Andrade. I think we got something different. And I think him going back there now and not being put in any position to do anything is probably indicative that he needs to reevaluate his style as well.
Speaking of WWE Speed, the inaugural champion Ricochet, has he been written off TV?
Yes, definitely.
Is he going to show up in AEW?
Yes, definitely.
And are you looking forward to seeing him going against Commander on Rampage, picture in picture?
Can't wait.
That's going to be phenomenal.
Well, I was thinking about this recently with the talks of Chad Gable's contract being up as well.
Where do these guys fit in? Like, they're going to be brought in and forgot about. Just like Andrade.
Some people are.
Just like Andrade is in WWE. Just to say.
I think, right, this is a big... Okay. And this goes both ways. Because there's going to people go, like Andrade, go from AEW to WWE.
Yeah, but are we going to have pay-per-views with 12 matches on them again? And no one stands out because everything just blends together.
I think that's probably...
And then you're going to have someone set on fire for something to stand out. Someone to go through a big glass thing just to stand out.
Forbidden Door seems to be trending towards being more trimmed than what Double or Nothing was.
How? They're going to add more wrestlers.
No, I think
Because they're adding New Japan people.
But I also
and
think...
it's not even a forbidden door anyway, because New Japan people are all over this show.
Well, this is Forbidden Door coming up.
Yeah, but they're always all over the show.
I think it feels like that now.
Aussie Open and Will Ospreay. Like, we signed Will Ospreay. I've seen Will Ospreay about 17 times on AEW.
Aussie Opener signed as well.
Yeah, I know, but they were
all New Japan.
New Japan.
Well, and Aussie Open spent a lot of time in New Japan.
John Moxley is the New Japan champion.
Yeah, that's a favour from Tony to New Japan.
Eddie Kingston always over in New Japan.
Well, he was very rarely in Japan, but he was on the American show.
Yeah, but he was in New Japan wrestler kind of thing, as he's one of their champions, one of their many champions.
New Japan.
Rocky Romero, he's all over.
Rocky Romero works office for New Japan.
I'm just saying, it's not a forbidden door anymore.
I know anymore it's not, but you're not going to change the name of the show.
What?
It's the third forbidden door or whatever. There's no point in changing the name.
Just call it the open door.
It's kind of not so much forbidden anymore. With CMLL coming in this year, it keeps the forbidden aspect of it,
It ain't forbidden. Look what NXT and TNA, that is genuinely more.
No.
It is.
No. Right.
If AJ Styles shows up in TNA.
Look at what's happened so far, right? Jordan Grace had a very good match.
Tatum Paxley showing up in TNA.
Yeah,
but it's only the infancy.
I know. Jesus
you can't
Christ.
shoot your load.
I know, but you
Tony.
bring in their champion and beat her, and then you send them a sacrificial lamb to lose.
Yeah, too right of it. And it's going to imagine Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu meeting again.
They don't need to.
They do on big TV.
Yeah, I don't think it's comparable.
They're both signed. One to TNA, one to WWE. They're going to meet again.
I don't think it's a comparable Forbidden Door.
Josh Alexander and who's he? AJ Styles.
Jeff Hardy showed up at TNA last night or the night before.
Dolph Ziggler. Imagine Dolph Ziggler on WWE TV.
I can't imagine what that would look like.
Wow. Sorry. Nick Nemeth.
Oh,
what would Nick Nemeth look like?
You could have a TNA team consisting of Nick Nemeth, Matt Hardy,
Mustafa Ali,
Jeff Hardy, and Mustafa Ali against a WWE team at War Games.
Yeah, that'd be unreal. That'd be class.
I think. Anyway, I don't know where.
So we were on WWE Speed.
Yeah, and Andrade and Ricochet going. I think what people need to get used to, right?
I don't think Ricochet is going to go. I think he's staying. I think
I think Chad Gable the one saying Ricochet's
I think Ricochet. I thought it was very abrupt when they were like, "Oh, well, he's leaving in a few months. Let's write him off TV now." I don't think he's going to go. Right?
The one thing that would ear in your favor that is his partner is Samantha Irving.
So Bubba Ray Dudley was like,
she ran out.
Imagine Braun Breaker goes up to Samantha Irving on Raw and was like,
blah blah.
I did this to
and then Ricochet
your
returns.
husband or whatever, and Ricochet returns. But I don't bring Ricochet back as Ricochet.
You'll bring him back as Rick O'Shea.
As
an Irish,
he gets his
part
Irish
of the
you bring
Rey Mysterio faction.
You bring back Prince Puma.
Oh, nice.
You bring back Puma. You bring back that fire. He doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah,
he's
just the mask
coming
and everything.
Yeah. Bring Ricochet. He's a good-looking dude, but bring him out in a mask and he does all this a bit of aggression on him. There you go. That's how you go over Ricochet.
Yeah.
And as Bubba said,
I do think he's gone though.
As Bubba says, he doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to dress up as a superhero or whatever.
Bubba Ray
Prince
Dudley calls pay-per-views PLEs. I can never listen to anything else he ever says again.
Oh, you shut up, will you?
The term premium live event.
That's what they are.
Look, this whole world.
Sorry, we don't do premium live events. We do pay-per-views.
Yeah, they're fucking pay-per-views. We can call them pay-per-views for 40 years. Call them fucking pay-per-views. Like, this corporatization of language drives me fucking demented. It drives me, and not just in wrestling, like in all aspects of life. Everything is becoming.
What phone is that?
That's the Samsung A54.
Oh, damn, I thought you were going to say iPhone.
No.
And I was like, oh, it's an iPhone.
It's like the corporatization of everything in life is driving me demented.
All right, you fucking socialist.
I am a socialist. 100%.
All right.
100% socialist.
I'm Captain Capitalism.
Yeah. It just drives me mad. Everything has corporate language now. Like, I'm a teacher, and in education, I see it being like run like a business. It's like education doesn't have to be for fucking profit, you know. And they stop calling things corporate titles and PLEs drives me. When I heard that months and months ago, I was like, a premium live event.
It's fucking brilliant.
Fuck off.
Brilliant. It's like when iPhones were like, hey, USB chargers. Get fucked.
Get fucked.
We're doing
Headphone jacks. Get fucked.
We're bringing out our own.
Now you have to buy all our shit.
And it's going to cost a bomb. And then the EU had to stick in their face. They're like, all the USB, it's all going to be USB-C. And
thank you, EU.
And now Apple won't pay the 14 billion. Is it billion that they owe to Ireland in tax or something?
Yeah, it was 14 billion about 7 or 8 years ago. So
do you know how many wrestling companies we could set up with that? Give me the money, Apple, please. No. We'll call it iWrestling.
I actually will sell out for that.
Yeah, I will sell out.
Go capitalism. We can call our events premium live events.
I think that's basically a JBL person.
Yeah,
Captain Capitalism.
Totally up for that.
Drew versus Priest. Immediately, right? You get the Roddy Piper music.
Bagpipes, yeah.
No, but it's actually Scotland the Brave. Like, that's Roddy Piper's song. And then I was like, that's Roddy Piper's song. You don't take it. You use Broken Dreams. Use Broken Dreams, please, Drew. And they never use Broken Dreams. And you're like, fucking...
And you were itching for it, weren't you?
They used it a bit in the promo.
Yeah.
We'll time...
You were itching for it.
And
you were sad from before the match even
started. But I really liked that song, mainly because of the video game.
Yeah.
Because it was in the background of was it SmackDown 10 or something, I don't know. But I just really liked that song and they never played it.
Fair. Fair complaint.
And then did you notice the bagpipers and the actual people, they weren't doing anything with the drums? Or there was no sound coming anyway.
No, that could be just TV thing.
Now I know they had the mufflers on them, but they were like...
you might have heard them in the arena.
Yeah.
If you were at the show, comment... Like the podcast, comment down below. Could you hear the drums?
Like, subscribe, ring a ding, that notification bell. Like, you're the referee and there's been a post-match attack.
It helps
ding,
the
ding,
algorithm.
Ding, ding. Does it? I know nothing about.
I have no clue. I hear other people say that.
But when I was looking at Drew coming out, I was like, he looks unhappy. Like, there is a bit.
Does he have loser face?
I thought he had a bit.
Remember when
face.
Jonathan Gresham lost the Ring of Honor title to
Claudio Castagnoli?
Yeah, like he had the biggest case of fuck this, I'm losing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
but that's what he had. I thought coming out, I was like,
or did he just have mean Drew face? I don't know.
No, and until he grabbed the Scottish flag, I thought he looked quite annoyed,
displeased. Well, do you think he was politicking all day to win the title? Change the finish.
Yeah. You would be, but then again, it makes more like the finish that they went with makes more sense, and you can't always have a happy ending.
No, but
and I like the Andy Murray reference. If he wins tonight, he's British. If he loses, he's Scottish.
Scottish, yeah.
It's shite being Scottish. We're the lowest of the low.
I did see a lot of that going around on the internet, but also like this is the second. Was it last year? Clash of the Castle was in Wales, or 2 years ago?
2 years ago. I think.
So this is the second time they've beaten in Britain.
That's why he's brilliant though, because he's becoming such a bitter bastard.
I know.
Like, people are loving his online persona now because it's so bitter and it's so...
But he can do that with the title as well.
No, he can't.
You can't.
You can't. Especially, and you can't win it as a babyface either. Unless you're doing a Brett thing where he's a face in Scotland, but he's a heel everywhere else.
But like, also I feel like Punk keeps getting one over him every time. There needs to be a point where Drew gets one over on Punk, because I think ultimately
he injured him. So Punk is doing it from the sidelines and stuff.
I know.
It will ultimately... You never know what will happen. Imagine Punk's return match. He's going against McIntyre, and McIntyre fucking destroys him.
I know, but ultimately...
And McIntyre's a heel as well.
In the feud, the money is Punk wins the feud. Like, Punk has to win the feud at the end.
The story is... There's so much still to go in it.
Oh, there's loads to go.
And
this could end up dragging out to WrestleMania next year.
And this is a massive fucking ignition point for it. It's a massive ignition.
But they can do this for the title.
They were doing some like the WrestleMania thing that was fairly big, and a lot of that was McIntyre slagging off Punk, and then Punk getting on. But
I felt like, right, because they did this at WrestleMania with Punk screwing McIntyre out of the title. And now they've done it again. Yeah.
And then look,
who's the fucking heel?
I think we're getting too far ahead of it.
I know, yeah. Go on. So get into the match, because there's a lot to talk about in the match as well.
Well, when I was looking at when they're locking up, I was like, Jesus, Triple H has pretty much done an amazing job of building up talent. Coming from NXT.
Except that Damian Priest doesn't feel like a world champion, and he's not been treated like a world champion.
Yeah, and he referenced it himself afterwards, but still, like, you're going, these guys were in NXT not so long.
Feud, and he's like the third most important person in it.
Yeah.
He's the champion.
Still, though. He's still the WWE champion. Like, WWE have created a lot of stars that emanated or started off in NXT.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think they did. Well, you know, he was punished.
And then it was,
Ring of Honor before that.
And then I was like, well, is this kind of Vince? Is this a byproduct of Vince McMahon stuff?
Damian Priest was called up during Vince McMahon.
That's what I'm saying. We'll do a lot. Does Vince take a lot of credit for this? I know that we like to shit on him, and he likes to shit on people too. But but at the same, do you give him his dues? Like, for the do you give him his dues on the talent? Are you alright? I didn't mean that.
I wasn't expecting it.
It just came to me. But like,
did you clear that with legal beforehand?
allegedly. But like, does he need to get his dues, like, for building up a lot of these, or is it all basically thank God he didn't get his mitts on these people for a long time? Like Damian Priest, he didn't have him. They didn't end up like the Ascension. Like, he's pushed a lot of people through NXT.
Damian Priest was always like, look at him, like, he looks like a Vince guy. You know, he's big. He's
big.
He's big.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to do okay under Vince regardless, I think.
Like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, they were doing great under Vince.
Yeah, like, I know we joke about Vince. Like, the difference is, right, Triple H might push guys to the very, very top that Vince wouldn't have.
Chad.
I don't know. I don't think Triple H would push him to the very,
solid
very top.
mid-carder, isn't he?
Super solid upper mid-carder, yeah.
Upper mid-carder?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he's like,
if he was in an elimination chamber for the world title, that's all right.
yeah.
But, like, you're not fucking winning it, Chad.
Yeah, well, they're not going to put the company on his back, like.
Why not? It's so small.
Yeah. The company would be low to the ground.
Oh, no, he's an absolute animal. Leave him alone.
But, yeah, I just think Damian Priest doesn't feel like the world champion.
I think...
And Drew should be the world champion because he is a more central character on the TV show.
He looked absolutely shredded last night.
He's in unbelievable shape.
Unreal. But, right, so does that change now, considering...
I don't like when the world title isn't on the top guys.
The actual spot that happened last night, which...
Fuck me.
When he goes to do the dive and he gets his ankle caught. Gets caught in the ropes. And they're like, okay, what do we do? And Drew starts kicking him. They can't get him out of the ropes for ages.
See, like, when he flipped over, the torque of his leg getting caught, but it looked horrendous.
The fact that he just hung there, though.
For ages.
Yeah, like, you know, he didn't try and move it himself and stuff. I was like, okay. And then he sold it all throughout the match. Maybe.
I don't think he sold it.
Yeah,
I
but
think
like,
he was in bits.
Yeah, so if he's in bits, and us fans know that, like, you have...
Audible.
But you have a newfound appreciation for him.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, okay, maybe this guy does...
If his knee isn't completely ripped out of its... whatever. Knee sockets...
that thing?
I don't know, fucking know. And, like, he doesn't have to hand the title back.
But if he did have to hand the title back and then ended up getting it back in a few years,
will it be the type of thing that gets him over more for how he got through the match? I thought this was his best match.
Yeah.
That I've seen him have singles match ever. I thought it was Damian Priest's best ever singles match. And he did the second half of it on one leg. And he was throwing fucking all his flying kicks and all that kind of stuff.
Flying kicks look cool. The crucifix on the one leg looked cool.
That looked deadly. Like,
or the crucifix bomb.
Fucking gutted it out. Fair play to him.
Fair play to him. I
actually kind of feel sorry for him. Because to me, he's the third guy
He's
in
the
his own
world champion.
feud.
He's getting paid a lot of money. He's going out with Rusev's ex-hot, flexible wife. But I feel sorry for him. All right?
Actually, now that you mention it, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
fuck that guy.
Fuck him.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that handsome son of a bitch.
Fucking. But like, he gutted it out. Fair play. Well done. Shout out, praise.
I got lost in the match. So as you can see, my notes are kind of just die
kind
off.
of petered off here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Celtic and Rangers get a mention, and how McIntyre's going to unite all of them. But there's one thing in the match that I didn't like.
Go on.
And I don't know why I didn't like it. But I was like, if Drew McIntyre punched me in the face, and then I punched him, and then he punched me, and then I punched him, and then he punched me.
This is after the knee spot, yeah.
You would feel a punch in the face for someone like Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
now, I know in
much
wrestling
selling.
there's a lot of bang, bang, and like Austin and The Rock do it and all that. But they were just...
But this was weird, right? This felt like an AEW spot or sequence in front of a WWE audience. And like they were doing, like the trading elbows and strikes when they meet in the middle of the ring.
It was McIntyre that was hitting the punches, but at least Priest was like, he'd go for one of these.
Yeah, go for the elbow or the
like he did
forearms.
throw a punch. His first one was a punch.
Yeah.
And then you see McIntyre, he goes back like that, and then he goes to hit him. And then after that, he doesn't actually throw a punch for another while. And I'm wondering,
he finishes it with the 3 different kicks.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it he going, this motherfucker didn't sell for my punch?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there was probably a trade-off and stuff. And we do have that amazing Don Frey, like when the two boys...
Takayama,
when the two boys are... So it does happen, so I don't know.
Oh, the Don Frey Takayama is like...
That happens in real life, so I suppose we'll just use it for a spot.
They did it for 5 minutes. But it felt like, again, like that's something that happens in probably too many AEW matches. And, you know...
Do you remember the trading Canadian destroyers?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Orange Cassidy to Penta.
Penta and Rey Fenix.
What do you think of Penta going to possibly WWE? That would be amazing.
I think he'd fit in.
I think he would look great with the Speed Championship.
But like
3 minutes.
I think like
3 minutes and 2 minutes 50 is just him doing zero, man. I love Penta though.
I love Penta.
But I love Lucha Underground Penta.
But I love CMLL Penta as well, or AAA Penta.
Did you see him with
fucking mad death matches and shit?
AEW?
Yeah.
Did you see him on that?
Yeah, he actually came across really well.
He was really funny.
I think a lot of there needs to be more movement between companies. Because you think of it, right? Somebody signs a 3 or 4 year contract and then they're with AEW or WWE for the next 3 or 4 years.
Right.
If they re-up another 3 or 4 year contract at that time, they end up 8 years or whatever with WWE or AEW.
I love that because it's continuity within the story.
I know, but then like
if Becky Lynch goes to AEW
for 4 years, then goes back, I think there should be more movement. I want more movement. I want to see like different variations, and then I want to see like people go back the way in 3-4 more years.
I think
time.
AEW, when you're talking about different variations, AEW can sort that out with a roster split.
No, fuck roster splits.
Fucking Collision.
You said this to me, right? And I do the TEW 2020 booking game. So I went off, right? After you said it.
Did a roster split.
And I did a roster split with AEW. I said, right, I'm going to see what this would kind of look like between Collision and Dynamite, right? And I did it. I got a version of the game, of the rosters, on June 2023, which was Punk still there and all that. Yeah. So I did that roster split.
How'd it work out?
I got really bored of it really quick.
Yeah, that's a you problem. You weren't creative enough.
I'm no booker. T. I'm more of a pusher T.
I'm a pusher man. Yeah, let's get back into the match. Okay, so the ref bump. Like I really enjoyed the match. As I said, I was getting lost in it. There were some really cool spots. The Claymore on the outside through the barrier. I'm sick of that barrier spot. So overdone. Yeah, Priest looked like absolutely wrecked off from it. Yeah. You know,
like it looked great, but like I feel like that's Brock Lesnar's spot. You know?
And the ref bump, then you knew some shenanigans was happening. But talk about the
more shenanigans.
Talk about the camera work though. There.
Look, in terms of.
Like you didn't get
how it was done.
You didn't get the
fantastic.
You didn't get the referee Charles Robinson running down, like that. You got it from far.
You see a ref. Seen the black and white ref shirt running
1, 2, and
I was like, oh, the ref's wearing a pair of Jordans.
And then
class
2, and that's exactly what McIntyre did to Michael Cole. He was like that, and then Wade Barrett was like, "Oh, that means something different over here."
Then Punk
does it back to him, which is like a fuck you, but you only got two. Like that's beautiful visuals.
And like it was shot really well. Obviously, look, there's logical gaps abound.
But you talked about AJ getting a victory over Cody in normal circumstances. The crowd counted to like 10 on Damien. So did McIntyre get his victory under normal circumstances over Priest?
No, because
because he lost
in fucking Scotland. You beat Drew McIntyre in Scotland. You fucking morons.
And the crowd was like, bar those like 4 CM Punk fans in the front row.
Yeah. Those he found. How did he find the 4
guys? He knew
guys?
they were.
Yeah. I don't know.
You just fucking don't like CM Punk.
No. I said it in our group last night, in our WhatsApp group, when that Juicy Mark Almar said you have to admit CM Punk is whatever. I was like, CM Punk is a fucking genius. And
Wrestling
he's great wrestling genius. And he's fucking great for wrestling. But and I love watching all the stuff. I think I'm a fan of CM Punk the wrestler. I think he's probably a bit of an arsehole in a lot of ways. Or he has
Triple H and him are besties now.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the press conference,
the press conference, didn't believe a word Triple H said.
He came out in a Celtic jersey, Punk did.
That looked cool. That was all great. Brought out the fucking donuts and all. Throw back to his last press conference appearance. But yeah, I thought it was Damien Priest's best match. I thought Drew McIntyre looked and felt like a world champion. I thought the biggest feud in the whole fucking company right now is Drew and CM Punk. It's bigger than anything going on with Cody. It's as big as anything you could do with Roman.
But isn't that great? Where you're having feuds outside of a title picture.
I know, but
you're just having blood feuds. Lads, I fucking hate you, man. I'm going to punch you in the face.
But it's the biggest feud in the company, right?
And that's not to the detriment of Priest, though.
I think it is.
No.
I think it is. I think it makes Priest as world champion again. Like, what's next for Priest? Let's say, fingers crossed, Priest isn't injured. Because I think Priest had a great performance last night.
Right. I think I would love to see this happen. Don't think it will.
Finn Balor wins.
Money in the Bank, cashes in on Priest. I think it's the first time ever that Money in the Bank, someone who won the title via Money in the Bank loses the title via Money in the Bank. That's a cool thing, right? Yeah. I think that'll be cool. I hope it's not Jey Uso. I hope he doesn't, because he's already had his chance at Priest at Backlash. It was an okay match.
And also, he's not a world champion.
Gunther, what's happening with him?
Are they going to go?
Is that at SummerSlam? Are we going to, because Priest references Gunther in his post-match?
Look.
Or does Gunther go with Cody?
You didn't put the title on. I think it's obvious where Cody's going in terms of he's going back down the bloodline and then maybe see Randy Orton at some stage route. So that leaves the Priest and Raw side of things more open. So what you do? Priest Gunther, Priest Balor.
Priest Balor would be cool.
That would be cool
because you get to run back at JD and Gunther as well.
Yeah, and but then you go like Gunther. To me, if you're not putting the title on Drew McIntyre and having it involved in the Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud, which I think would elevate the title, Gunther is the only guy who has the aura to keep the title feeling like it's front and center.
Yeah, because at the end of Clash of the Castle or whatever, and maybe before the press conference, they played a big Gunther promo.
Gunter feels like a world champion. Priest doesn't, you know what I mean? And I think, like, I thought Priest, again, great last night, but he doesn't have, like, who has the fucking aura that Gunter has? Like, I feel like Gunter could carry that world title. And I think partially, right, you are right in terms of, does Punk McIntyre need the world title the feud?
What happened really. What happened here was better for McIntyre in the long run.
Possibly.
Because he signed on again.
Yeah.
He's going to get another moment as a face. He's the heel. You don't want to be, like, maybe he did want to. I'm sure he did. But, like, looking at the bigger picture, just like Cody losing at WrestleMania, this is better.
It very possibly could be. I just thought, like, oh God, I was in Scotland, just put the fucking title on him event.
Yeah, but that's hot-shotting it. That's a...
No, it's not even hot-shotting because there's nothing going on with Priest. There is no...
That's like oh, really, a Clash of the Castle.
It was hot-shotting it if, let's say, you had a very, like... obvious direction for Priest to go. And he said, that's actually in Clash of the Castle. Let's just fucking stick it on McIntyre. No, the obvious direction is actually where McIntyre's gone. And there isn't that super obvious for Priest. Or there's nothing that makes us as a fan go. So I think like moving the title onto McIntyre was better for the title. Because you're going into a big feud.
No, I think you give more. Like they have a lot of TV time. You feel a lot more of it when you're trying to find a Priest challenger than when you're trying to find a McIntyre challenger. Because McIntyre has Punk waiting anyway. So when Punk gets cleared, is Punk the automatic challenger?
I just
have
want
to go against each other, kick the fuck out of each other.
Like, I want my title to be generally in the top feud on a company or a brand. Like this is something that's kind of annoying me. Had annoyed me.
What are you talking about?
Double or nothing with AEW.
Johnny Laurinaitis and John Cena main evented a pay-per-view, and that deserved to be top spot.
Yeah.
And AEW had Anarchy in the arena.
Yeah,
and then they had the tag team match and stuff. It's okay, man.
No, it's okay. Definitely it's okay sometimes.
It's okay to deviate, man. It's all right.
Like the Drew CM Punk thing to me feels feels super hot. Like it feels like the hottest thing they have going.
And that's because they're doing cool stuff like this.
It was cool. It was very cool.
Enjoyed the show?
Yeah. I thought it was better than King and Queen of the Castle.
I was talking about this show. The Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.
Oh, really enjoyed the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.
No, I'm only joking.
How long did we go?
I don't know.
I feel like we went a long time.
I didn't time it. I'm sorry, Matthew, our editor, but that's about it for the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show review of Clash of the Castle.
Can I shout out Thunder Rosa's spot on Collision last night? Did you see that?
Is this the Collision review show?
No, just that was awesome. Go and check it out on Twitter as well.
We just do a Collision review show. No, because no one watches Collision.
Go watch the Thunder Rosa spot on Collision.
I won't. No.
Daddy, well done, Thunder Rosa.
Don't make me.
I like her too.
Fucking AEW, Mark. Thanks very much for watching the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. I've been the big baby boy, Shaz Beef. He's been the old bucks.
We are the old bucks.
We are the old bucks. This is
the
Morro.
balding bucks.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring a ding ding that notification bell like you're a referee trying to stop a post-match interference. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week where we'll have more stuff to talk. I think wrestling attires and general presentation of wrestling.
Production type stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So
looking forward to that.
Looking forward to chatting to you again soon. This has been the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.